Howdy folks, welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am your game master, like I am most nights, Joe Treff. Joining me are my friends, Matt, Dan, Kara. For some reason, I always, as soon as I start reading this in, I start panicking about, forgetting somebody.
Hi.
And then I jam up and I go, Matt. And it's always either on you or it's always in the middle seat over there. Anyways, Olive, Ari, all of us here together.
All of us here together.
All of us here together. Look at that. We're going to play Starfinder at some point, but before we start doing that, I am going to go over a couple of quick announcements. There are a few ways that you can support this channel. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit here. You okay over there, Dan?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. There are bits and channel points. Bits are something that is kind of like Twitch's microcurrency. It is a way that you can directly support the stream in a very immediate way. They have an impact on the session immediately. Either a few bits are able to get things like interns. Is that for the current storyline? Are you bleeding?
Are you bleeding?
Oh man, if you go to Aura's Bay. Speaking of which, channel points are something that you accumulate for free just by watching, and you can use those to influence some of the longer term elements of the story. At the moment, by donating them to either one of two sort of relocation funds that will determine where the characters from Spice's backstory resettle, and likely where we'll see an additional arc. So choose either Aura's Bay, the beautiful kind of tropical resort planet.
Like Mario Sunshine.
Like Mario Sunshine. I actually haven't played very many Mario games after Mario 64. But sure, like Mario Sunshine. Or it could be the Eclipse Mall, just the world's
pragmatic choice.
It's a pragmatic choice, but
live in a mall.
I think there's a lot of
There's
potential
apartments
there.
in the mall.
Yeah, for old people.
No, it's definitely these are like the condos
The
that are
native malls,
absolutely.
yeah.
My
They're
house.
nice.
This is absolutely based on the native
I'm
collection.
imagining
Yeah.
Google campus.
No, I'm talking about when
styling.
they redo malls and put houses in, not like the Arsenal Mall.
Oh no! This is more like the native collection.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can influence that choice with channel points. We have a couple different social media. They're all at @AlberonRPG. Instagram is the most prominent one, and on that you can see things like our battle cam in much closer format. Right now it's our ship. You can see all the glory of this ship, all the characters and stuff like that, but it is much clearer on Instagram at @AlberonRPG.
See my dumb face sometimes.
Not a sponsor. And
Not
then tomorrow night at 7 p.m. we're going to be playing our original D&D campaign, Courts of Everest, which is an original 5th edition D&D campaign that is on its 17th or 18th session. I don't remember which. And everything is going great. Nobody almost died to goblins, and
It was totally fine.
Yeah.
So I don't watch that stream because it's a lot of D&D. But every time you interject it in our recap, it's always and someone almost died to something innocuous, like a spatula, or someone almost died to goblins.
I would say about 50% of the time it's Minka, Alana's character, and then about 50% of the time it's small creatures like goblins.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You
Anyways,
ran into a rat.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They murdered a beaver last session.
I checked that.
It was an
last time.
accident.
Very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, D&D, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. And then finally, for digital sound effects, much like this delightful light music that is just kind of bubbling in the background, or we could do things like a sad trombone. All those sound effects available on Sirenscape. And with that, I'm going to put our own theme song on, and I'll get into our recap.
3, 2, 1.
That was a great bridge, Ari. Despite the fact that this does sound like Ari just freestyling, this was done by Arcane Anthems. Thank you, Wes. Mosaic Team 5, last we played, you took off from Lolo's Diner and sunk into a short 3-day travel to Siren, where you intended to search for Gibbs's cousin, Crumb. Let's turn that just a little scooch down. There we go, Sirenscape. The first day saw Bubbles try to create an anger room for Spice, as he made assumptions as to why she was mad. This saw him pummeled quite badly, beaten to the point that almost every member of the crew assembled to try to provide aid for
It
Bubbles.
wasn't being that bad.
I mean, considering it was a non-combat scene, I would say it was pretty bad. Echo and Shade worked in the armory on upgrading weapons, armors, and communicators in certain circumstances. Gibbs, you did some damage control, speaking to Spice about how Bubbles did a lot, a sentiment that Shade later confirmed. Shade, you also informed Spice that it was your intention to make her the captain at a later date. The second day dawned, seeing Shade introduce the idea of team combat training, a dramatic meeting that did eventually see you all begin combat training sessions. However, a lot of drama shed before that. Tired after this exhaustive session, you dropped from the drift and into the Siren system. With the majority of light stemming from the pale and violent blue star Siren, the entire system takes on a dramatic and eerie cerulean hue, with the violent debris fields of ice seeming to almost glow with the blue light when it passes between Siren and you. As you make plans, Shade and Echo, you excuse yourselves from a little sidebar, and as Captain Shade, you had Echo prepare for a solo reconnaissance mission through the wreckage around Canosa Station, the lone active station of the Siren system. And Echo, as you head towards your shuttle, that is where we begin this evening. Give me just 1 second. All right. You know what? Maybe now would be a great time for 80s sci-fi.
Yeah.
Fun.
So, Echo, as you walk towards the shuttle, you can see through this viewport, or the various window screens that you can see like backwards through the ship. The place that you are in is this debris field. And the elements that you are around right now, the debris is so small that here and there it does just kind of spark against your shields and bounce off. But a little bit further on, there are huge hunks of ice and large bits of asteroids and twisted wrecks from previous ships that have been lost to this field. As you are flying through space, it's hard to really get a sense for how fast this is traveling, but there are areas a little bit closer to the station where you can see the wreckage is going quite fast, caught in a very quick orbit close to Canosa Station. But that's pretty far off, and you can see that mostly with the help of the ship's enhanced systems. Is there anything that you want to do before you get started on this reconnaissance mission?
Echo would be looking around for some like eats meats paraphernalia, some general crates that they can stock in the shuttle.
Yeah, no problem. You can find a couple of those. I would say you have quite a few of them at this point.
And Echo also quickly knocks on the medical bay doors.
Okay.
Bubs and I are in there, so I open it.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Gibbs, I require Alexa's services.
Sure. It's got your mobile garden nonsense on it.
You were upset the last time it was used without permission.
Oh. I mean, I was a little upset, but mostly because you couldn't promise me you would grow me, like, eats meats pucks or popcorn or...
I tried to explain that that's not a thing that can grow in a garden.
Sandwiches?
No, they don't. There's not a sandwich tree. I tried to explain this to you.
Okay. Yeah, so you can use it.
Thank you.
Why?
It will be necessary.
For what?
Why?
It will come back.
Oh, okay.
Where's it going?
On the shuttle with me.
Where are you going?
Reconnaissance.
Oh, are you leaving us? Or...
Reconnaissance implies that I will be returning as well.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll make sure the ship is, nice and warm when you get back, and if you want, I'll keep an eye on Nikolai for you.
The offer to watch Nikolai is appreciated.
Wait, you're gonna go all the way down to that big scary space station all by yourself?
To make a delivery.
What if there's, like, zombies?
Then I shall report that and come back.
I mean, this is Echo we're talking about. She's like, they're like so great at like doing everything they try to do.
The field, the field here, right? It's hard to communicate between.
It is.
Can you pilot around it successfully?
I can try.
Do you want company?
No. It is better for the crew if you all stay together on board the ship and out of harm's reach.
Yeah, Echo's totally got it. I mean, like, I think, like, out of everyone here, Echo is, like, like, the sneakiest, like, and, like, good at, like, being fast and stuff like that.
The compliments are unnecessary. And also false.
No. You gonna ask them about Crumb?
I shall imply questions.
Okay.
And I'll make sure
Do you not trust me, Gibbs?
It's not that I don't trust you.
Then why is this difficult?
Well, I kind of pissed off the god of renaissance and subterfuge. And I pull out the cracked candle. You know, she's like the goddess of spies and assassins and stuff, and
All the more reason to leave you behind.
I know. But that doesn't mean I'm not nervous for you.
Your concern is appreciated
Okay,
and noted.
I care about you.
I must leave now.
Okay, goodbye. Love you.
I'll make sure I'll watch Nikolai and I'll like
Echo's like walking towards the
Yeah, no
shuttle.
I'll like
problem.
move around and
Probably
You hear the
getting it
footsteps
ready.
just recede. No problem.
Bye.
So you make your way to the shuttle.
Where did you leave Nikolai?
It's not a person.
Nikolai's in the bunk.
Okay. I'll
Just keeping the bed warm.
Nikolai's.
Shade, are you doing anything to prepare the shuttle, you said?
Yeah, just like making sure it's all ready for Echo to take out.
Okay. As you get the shuttle ready back in the bay, the director, unable to really listen to the conversation in the med bay, seeing you get ready, says, Shade, what are you preparing for?
Echo is going on a reconnaissance mission.
There's a brief pause, and then the director says, you are able to access operative mode, if you wish, but that requires consent.
Can Matt know what operative mode is?
Make an engineering check for Shade. Matt has no idea.
Nice. Dirty 30.
There are... Shade, you don't know why you know this. This is something that maybe you read or maybe you heard, but at some point you came across the knowledge that there are some organizations, and these are organizations that specialize in subterfuge, in sting operations, things like that. This is something like the Space FBI would be very interested in. But operative mode is a way in which, when you have to split up a group of people that would normally fight together, you're able to have people contribute in other ways to one or two or a smaller group from afar. And there are different ways. I mean, most of the ways in which these have been implemented are not terribly successful. Typically, like, it will allow for one or two people. But yeah, you would know that about it.
Yes, engage operative mode.
It would require consent from Echo.
When they return, get the...
They haven't left the shuttle yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ask.
ask them. They're on the ship still.
So a little like ting goes off on the overhead, and the director says, Echo, you are going on a reconnaissance mission, I am told by Shade. This goes across the whole ship, by the way. Is this correct?
It is a director.
We are able to initiate operative mode, but require consent, as this would give the crew direct link to your visual and audio feed.
Are there any other connections that would be made?
The operative mode positions will include the operative, which is you, the operator, the tech ripper, the mass spec, and the drone control. And at this, you hear this little like kind of pick up. And for you, if you're anywhere near the engineering bay, that little 3D printing drone like stands up, and it begins to like move out. And Echo, you see from around the edge this little wall panel open up, and this drone removes this strange looking, almost like an orb in this hollow frame. And as it pulls it out, you can see almost a carbon copy of this printing drone, with the exception that it is just hollow frame, just bare bones, such that it can fold up and be almost like a suitcase size. Still probably about 40 pounds because it's metal. This is for the drone control. This will work briefly and will be expensive if lost. I would recommend having Bubbles use this, as he can transmit his physical skills in a more direct way, albeit briefly, if needed.
I understand. Would it require consent to control my motor skills?
I am unable to control your motor skills.
That is wonderful.
The
No offense.
closest to control would be whoever mans the mass spec station. This would utilize your olfactory sensors to... One with sufficient scientific knowledge would be able to discern what you are smelling.
This is acceptable.
Very well. And
Will your
suddenly,
sensors be able to reach through the
as
field?
soon as you say this is acceptable, suddenly your blue eyes shift and the color changes entirely to yellow. For anybody who is in the cockpit, suddenly the controls shut down and reboot, and each station, each of the 4 seats has a different color associated with the controls, with the lighting around it. There is a blue control set, there is a red control set, a green control set, and an orange one. And Echo, you with the yellow eyes, the yellow kind of controls, and over on the heads-up display of the cockpit, your vision just ignites. And for anybody who's in the cockpit, you can see this weird hollow frame drone folding up so that Echo can pick it up.
Nice.
How small is the holoframe?
When it folds up completely, it is literally about this size, maybe about this thick, but about 40 pounds. It's metal.
Okay, so heavy,
It's a dense object.
It's a book.
but okay, so Echo could like stash it somewhere, but probably not carry it and be speedy.
Some sort of backpack.
You can carry it and be speedy. Stopping will be really hard. That adds a lot of...
Let's stash the drone.
Very well. You stash the drone in the shuttle.
Yes, and they make sure that it's like fairly accessible, but secure.
As you...
The Ripper?
The Tech Ripper.
Tech Ripper?
Are you asking that?
I'm not there.
Okay.
I'm in the mid bay.
This is being told out loud because somebody...
But the med bay.
The med bay, you still
can't
hear things, but
Okay.
he can't hear you.
Yeah.
Cool.
You might hear it in the hallway.
Cool. Yeah, the door can be open.
I would say if you ask that, Bubbles, the director would say, you said the Tech Ripper?
Whatever one that said, the director said could be used by Bubbles. Was that the Tech Ripper?
That was the drone control.
Okay.
And so as you're stashing this drone away, the director would say, this drone can be activated just once and will stay active for a minute. But Bubbles will be able to use this as an extension of his physical self with significant penalties to reflexes. And so on your sort of console, and this is the drone console, the orange one,
Orange is drones.
you can see the controls have completely flipped around, and there is almost like, if you imagine, have you ever seen the movie Real Steel?
Yes, I have.
So there are like
good.
gloves in there. There are like controls for your legs that are almost like pedals. So this is like a cross between like Wii boxing and like a really, really intense racing
Oh,
simulator.
I'm totally on board with this. I love this. Such a good movie.
But the director
okay.
does say, this will only last for 60 seconds, and once used, this drone will burn out. It is
Carnivorous.
quite expensive to replace.
Understood.
Which one's green?
The green one is the mass spec station. And if you like begin to like investigate it a little bit, the director says, this station uses Echo's olfactory senses and will allow somebody with sufficient scientific skill to determine substances, odors, even some magical traces.
Oh, sounds like me. Red. What's that one?
Red is the Tech Ripper station. An individual with sufficient technical knowledge or an exocortex or a drone connection point would be able to use an extra action each turn as if the operative had an exocortex.
Okay. Blue.
This is the operator. This individual will be able to utilize some of their spells or charisma-based abilities to extend to targets within 30 feet of Echo.
Okay.
This particular station, for what it's worth, has a head element to it, almost like a helmet that would go on. This seems to have some kind of a neurological element to it. It's a little bit more intense than the others.
I
Spice
imagine.
isn't in the room, but she hears it.
Here's it all.
Yeah, she's just listening and rapping her fingernails against the counter.
Okay. Are you ready?
Echo's been like doing pre-flight
Yeah,
checks
no
throughout the
problem.
whole thing. Like, I don't quite need this.
Just like behind, taking all the stuff that you don't need.
No problem. You get the shuttle as light and as kind of powered down to the bare minimum as you can. And if there's nothing else, you can take off.
I exit,
I'll probably
engage
See her.
Okay.
the locking mechanism.
No problem.
Disengage it, I guess, to release the shuttle.
Yeah, no problem. So the clamp unlocks and the shuttle there's a slight shudder in the shift as it departs. And then Echo, you let it drift just a little bit further so that the backwash from your engines doesn't just wash across the ship. And then slowly begin to make your way out. Now, Echo, as you are leaving, give me 1 second here. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Hold, please.
Yeah.
It locked me out.
Oh no! I hate when that happens.
For the rest of you, as Echo begins to pull away and you're in the cockpit, for any of you who are in the cockpit and at one of these stations, you can see in the heads-up display kind of flickering but a slightly yellow-tinted version of what Echo is seeing. For you, Gibbs, if you are in fact sitting at that green station,
Yeah.
you can see just data running across, and it may not make tons of sense, but when you turn it and you look at it in certain ways, there are elements that these lines and shapes do speak to you, and you're like, that looks kind of like a banana. And to most people, it wouldn't at all. But this might have some of those same olfactory chemicals that a banana might have. And you would imagine you could probably make use of this. We'll see.
I imagine there's like an upside down party hat that I can like put over my little nose.
There isn't, but if you want, Gibbs can absolutely just pull one out
Yeah.
and slap it on there.
And like the Gibbs keyboard, somehow like attach it to the data stream. So I got my little keyboard and my party hat on my nose, and I'm jacked into the Matrix.
There is nowhere for the keyboard to plug into, but as you're like looking around, the director would go, oh, and then like the control panel would flip over and just like one little prong slot for this little fake, not fake, but alternate
Cousin
flight deck.
controller slot.
Yeah, exactly. The little sibling controller.
I don't bother to insight check that at all.
Yeah, no worries. So you get set up. For you, what was your perception check?
27.
27. So as Echo's eyes look around and all of you can kind of follow this from the heads-up display, you can see there is a tremendous amount of wreckage, and as you get closer to the station, it seems like it will get denser. And your scanners, as you get a little bit closer, pick up as you get much closer to the station. Once you get across a pretty solid debris field, right before you get to the station, almost like an egg around it, there is a field of whirling debris. And as you sort of focus in on this, it's moving close to 6,000 miles an hour, just whizzing around.
Once they get about to the debris field, they're gonna ping the station.
Okay, sure. You ping the station. There is this kind of just... And you imagine this incredible debris field probably causing a little bit of interference. You also haven't heard anything come back, and you can see the station. It's far. It's a glint in the distance, but you can still see it, and so they're certainly within what would be scanner range. But they haven't reached out to you. That being said, you can see parts of it spinning. It definitely has power and is functional.
Cool. All right. Echo's gonna continue forward.
Okay. With a 27.
Okay.
You also notice as you go forward a little bit further, like another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. Is anybody doing anything?
Yeah, I'm like keying into the senses and trying to start to figure out like what the... Is it, so it's only her sense of smell?
For this, it would seem. Yeah. Okay. And then olive/spice, conveniently mad/eating. Excellent. So
I think I'm going to see if I can find a schematic map of Kenosha Station online.
yeah, go ahead and make a cultures check. And this would I say, I don't think this gets your benefit, but it's a good thought.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, so close to 17, and then I went to a 3.
A 3.
Plus... It's not going to be good. Plus 6, so 9.
What you find out, I mean, Kenosha Station has a lot of results because Kenosha Station has kind of taken on the same sort of myth as like the Titanic. A lot of people died making this, close to 200, and then beyond that, people who have come to find the treasures and the Siren emeralds and all these different things, or sapphires. I mean, people have all kinds of stories about this place, but there's like no real information, and so no real schematics for you.
I tried to find some schematics online. I couldn't find anything yet. But I'll keep looking. But this place seems like like a legendary ship. It seems like all these people built this up, and then it seems just like a something just people just try to grave rob out of now at this point.
Echo, as you hear this and that communication kind of cuts for a second and you think about it, your scanners beep and there is something that picks up just a little bit off and in front of you. And as the light from Siren shifts through, suddenly you can see just a little pocket of debris that is a little bit denser than other areas around. And you recognize that this is certainly like the remains of a ship. Crumpled, there are scorch marks around it, and with the light hitting it at just the right angle right now, you can see a few details. This looks kind of similar to some other ships that you've seen before. When you were making an escape from Akaton, there were some Yosoki starfighters that you had seen that were a little kind of like heaped together bits of junk. This seems to be of a similar make.
Do I see that?
No. Oh, actually, yeah. Through Echo's vision, absolutely.
Does that
I would say,
smell like everything that glitters?
You through space, not.
can't
Leave me alone, Joe.
But
still smell
what I
the
will
inside.
say is,
Do I recognize it as the ship that we're looking
Who
for?
does real quick get access to her vision?
everybody who's in the cockpit. So it's
Okay.
like right now across everything. The heads-up display is projected across the glass.
Okay, so I'll be in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Star Trek
Would've gone
screen,
into the
it's changed from seeing space to seeing Echo's vision.
That's dope.
And you guys right now are all in like the Power Rangers Megazord style.
Yeah.
like,
I was gonna say, am I a Megazord?
Oh, absolutely. That's what this is about.
When you said that in the group chat, I was like, oh.
So as soon as you guys were like, we're gonna do a solo mission, I was like, how can everybody be involved in the solo mission? So this is how.
We have the left arm, and you've got the right arm, and
Oh, form the legs. So you absolutely, as you look out here and you see like the light splash across and the debris shifts in like scrawled gold lettering, you can see like scratched across. All that glitters.
no! And I like press the button on the comm, and I'm like, that's the ship!
It screeches across like there's the static feedback, and Gibbs, you're just like slamming on the controls on the Gibbs keyboard.
Gravedigger? I don't see the word gravedigger. Oh,
That's
shit.
everything that glitters!
Oh. Shit.
Can I reach out with my spell? I don't know if it'll work in this situation, but can I do the known coordinates of a creature being, Crumb, on the same planetary body as you, up to the size of a large planet, such as a gas giant.
Gotcha.
I can identify the creature as long as I have personal knowledge, which I definitely do.
I'll say yeah, because very technically, if you want to think about it from like when this whole system was a planetary disk, like in the creation of the Siren system, at one point, most of this debris was from a single planetary body, and it hasn't really left a space much larger than that. And when you think about the way that gravity pulls towards a single mass,
It's like
It's
the
magic
rings
fucking
of Saturn.
So
I mean, it makes sense. It's
like the
you
rings
know.
of
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got
Yeah,
limitations to the
yeah, yeah.
spell. So I will splash some of my bottle over to the keyboard, but like, cause it's jacked in, try to like triangulate, but through Echo's vision to see if I can like get the trace of body heat, but through mysticism of
Sure.
where Crumb could be.
Okay, and so for that spell, you're able to determine the location, right, of anybody, and it does like a little beacon in that direction.
If you, yeah. So if we're not on the same side, if we're not in the same location, the spell fails. I can then input the coordinations attached to an infosphere.
So you get the coordinates.
I get the coordinates, and I can assist with a piloting skill for a navigation task to reach those coordinates. And these these directions make my familiarity of a location somewhat more familiar.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, go ahead and make a piloting check. And right now, in this moment, as you pour the bottle out and it splashes onto your keyboard, you pull it up and you're like trying to look through the film dripping off the keyboard through like the vision that is being projected from Echo's eyes.
15?
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With a 15, what I'll say is, I hate this so much.
Oh no.
You look through this like weird bit of gunk, and it's strange. Like you can still kind of see through Echo's vision, but obviously not very much. You know, there's just slime across. But all of a sudden, it's like, you know, when you just start boiling something, the first like bubble comes and it pops, and there's just that moment of clarity before like the whole top begins to roil. In this brief moment, it's like, and you can see just a pinprick of space that is just perfectly clear. And in the center of that, there is like a little swirling mass. And so all of a sudden, for the rest of you in the cockpit, Gibbs's arms just begin to tap furiously. Gibbs's eyes like roll back a little bit. This is a moment where Gibbs is not quite in control of themselves, but data starts flying across the screen, and there are lights that are going off.
The actual keyboard?
No, this is Gibbs's special keyboard.
It's the magic keyboard.
It's still a functional keyboard.
Yeah,
I
right,
wanna
but
make
it's
that
not
very
doing
clear.
anything
I thought it was
to
like
the
a speaking
system.
spell.
It's inputting coordinates.
It is certainly inputting coordinates. And all of a sudden, across the entire viewpoint and on your controls, you can see suddenly pinged this highlighted point. And the set of coordinates certainly comes up. It's
Is
not
it-
that far from you.
Is it
As it zooms in and zooms in and
is
zooms
it on
in,
the station?
you can see it is not on the station. It is a little bit past. It zooms into an asteroid that is marked on this map, and so it is known within this space. It is an asteroid labeled Siren 308A.
Nice.
So I'll send that through.
Good use of that spell.
But then
Very
think-
good use of that spell. Yes, Kara.
To confirm 308A, not C08A.
Siren 308A.
Okay.
Number 3, number 0, number 8.
Oh no! If Chrome was separated from his ship on an asteroid. And then I realized that one of the limitations of this spell is it doesn't fail whether or not, it doesn't depend on whether or not the person is alive or not. So it doesn't, I don't get that information. I just would know
shit.
where they are, but not the status of them.
Well, we have to go find.
Well, of course! But seeing the ship is filling me with a lot of anxiety. Do we,
Baby, you're strong. You got this.
I
We're
mean-
all here with you.
do we still have to go to Kenosha?
You said 27?
Yes.
So with the 27 now is like Gibbs starts shrieking across the comms and dumping that information into you. And you get a little bit closer and you like investigate. With that additional information, you can certainly see there is areas where laser fire has struck. There is like scorch marks, but all of the emergency sort of like the EVA suit, that's gone. The spare oxygen tanks, those are gone. And so there is some evidence to suggest that perhaps whoever was in this ship evacuated. There's not enough evidence necessarily to confirm that in any meaningful way, but at least you know that some of the stuff within is gone.
Echo probably wouldn't communicate that just because no certainty.
Yeah, fair enough. So if you want, you can just continue on past that little area.
Or you can turn back and we can just go to the asteroid.
Focus on the mission.
What, the mission's the crumbs.
No.
What's the mission?
Echo continues forward.
Joe, real quick, for this ship that we got from me,
Yeah,
we did not get a card with like the capabilities of
you
it.
did.
Oh, did we?
I definitely gave it
Does
to you
someone
guys.
have one?
If not, I can print another one out for you, but you
I
definitely
can
have
see
it.
that one.
Which one?
The Meek
Oh.
ship.
I think it's over there
That is one I think.
in my
Do you want me to hold ship stuff?
folder of stuff.
Or do you
Yeah,
want
Olive has the best like
I
hand
brought
things
storage.
in
They're just
I
in
brought
my
one of
tray, and I
these.
didn't.
Oh,
I
perfect.
just took
Yeah.
this. I didn't take out the
Thank you.
the ship
I'm
stuff.
running out,
left,
yeah.
Just bring the whole tray.
We should
down.
honestly, I feel like at some point something that would be cool to do would be like a feature of everybody's like little like note area of like what does it look like.
Instagram post.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Like I
Watching
posted
that
my
social
binder.
media happen right in real
At
time.
Alderon RPG. But yeah, so you'll have that. Echo, if you continue on, as you fly a little bit further, there are places here where the field of wreckage is growing much more hazardous, and the hulks of broken ships dot the landscape here like carcasses adrift in the darkest depths of the ocean. And at first, that's kind of like the biggest obstacles, and it's pretty easy to navigate around huge chunks of ship or massive rocks. But there are areas where here and there the ship is buffeted by small fragments that your sensors don't even pick up. And as you're getting closer and closer, you become aware of the fact that as you get closer and the gravity gets a little denser and such that the objects speed up, these small impacts could eventually possibly do things like puncture the hull. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. Or is there anything that you want to do to mitigate that?
Echo's going to attempt to do some fancy flying.
Okay.
Hey.
But also kind of ping back to the
I'm
ship.
gonna give it to Kara because she's been.
I'll show it to you during the break. But also ping back to the ship and said, if anyone can provide extra navigational assistance, I am having some trouble with the debris field.
Whose helmet space would that fall under?
It depends on how you would like to do this. So if you have some way of influencing things within 30 feet with charisma-based abilities, probably, you know, it really is up to how you want to do this. So,
well, I'm coming into the cockpit after having shipped Echo off, and I'm gonna sit down in this thing. How do I connect?
You're gonna put the helmet on?
No, not to the. No, I'm going into the red seat.
So if you go into the red
tech
seat,
ripper.
your exocortex
the one that I'm assigned.
instantly like pings, and there's a connection point that you can connect to, and as you do, suddenly it's almost like your exocortex leaps across the infosphere and just is sensing things at a slight lag further away. And you feel that like the debris as Echo gets further, it's not going to meaningfully affect it probably at these distances, but at greater lengths you would certainly lose this kind of ability to connect. But here you're fine.
Okay.
And in this moment, you would imagine if you want, you can use the exocortex to give Echo a +6 conditional modifier to this upcoming pilot check.
I'll do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Question: does my quick patch exocortex ability also work?
You would imagine so.
Cool. Okay.
This really is like a astral projection of your exocortex. So it's sci-fi astral projection.
Yeah. Wi-Fi.
Echo, go ahead and make a potting check. Take a +6 conditional modifier as all of a sudden your sense of space expands in a very unusual way.
11, 21, 28.
I mean, that's still pretty good. 28 is one higher than 27. And that's important. Let me go ahead and pull a little visual perspective.
Hey! I was not expecting that
Echo.
for this session.
As you are like taking off and beginning to fly a little bit further and you begin to enter the truly dangerous junk field, the area in which there are huge hunks of debris, you see ships, you see asteroids, you see in the darkness maybe other kind of strange figures. As an element goes past, you see a much brighter glint and you recognize that there are certainly other things within this field. And they are moving towards the larger ship.
Towards the directorship? Cool. Fun.
Oh.
Jump fields!
Are we able
This is the largest.
Are we able
the
to
largest.
re-engage the non-operative mode to get access to the guns?
Yeah.
Or can we stay in operative mode but still access
Or
the
like half and
guns?
half.
You would guess no. It's
Okay.
probably one or the other.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to turn our combat
I think I would
back
probably get on the guns then because I'm mostly on the drone.
So just remember, all of you are in the cockpit right now, so it'll take you some time to get there.
Yeah.
around? Oh, wow.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is a space field.
Yeah, shout out to Paizo for making the biggest space map. But also,
Oh, camera
shout out to
careful.
Paizo for literally, this is so big it's like hard to sit on stuff. Alright. And so stuff will shift around.
Yeah, we have
this
this
corner.
stuff over here.
Kara, can you grab my mic? Careful. Wait, that's side up. Careful.
That's okay, that's okay. Because all of these things are going to be moving each other.
I'm sorry?
We are in an asteroid field.
Yeah.
What a fun game.
I have a way to make it a little easier.
Player Kara sees that. That's a mine.
So this is Kenosha Station.
Yeah, so like I
It's called a
said,
mine.
there are
Siren.
several objects that glint as if they might be other things within this field. Now, the actual directorship all the way over there, let me go ahead. You can see there's some other ships that are approaching through the darkness. Let me get a ship.
Other ships. Fucking hell. Starship combat, here we go.
Oh,
I was gonna say you might want the director sheet.
it's right here.
Just for sake of ease, this is going to be the Echo party.
And then this asteroid fell.
Can we use Echo?
Or you put Echo on it, yeah.
All
Echo's
right.
not hoverboard. They don't need to breathe air.
1 second here. Change the music up.
I need it too. I'm looking.
Oh, do you want the
Hold your horses.
Starship
Yeah, I
combat
just need to
stuff?
write what I make the gunner's check real quick.
Do you have an extra one? I forget which one of us has one. I think it's you.
I usually have a
So,
Share this one.
Yeah, I have.
for those of you who have not tuned in, I have been trying to get Starship combat to happen for almost a year now. And this group has managed to thwart it in several ways, either by destroying their own ships, or destroying their own plot arc, or, or sneaking straight by.
You made like
These.
like little labels of what seat we were all sitting in.
Yeah, one of you has them. I don't
Okay, I'll look for them briefly, but
Yeah. But that is one thing to keep in mind. You do need to pick a role. Yes.
What would I be?
Oh,
Special individual combat fighter.
yeah,
fighter
you're
jet
doing your own
stuff.
thing. And so, important to note for this shuttle, there is a computer, and that computer will determine what you're able to do in addition to the one thing that you choose to do.
Okay.
So those, I believe it has like a +2 conditional modifier for those things. So that would be like if you want to concentrate on flying, you could have the computer take a shot.
Okay.
and then we
So
sort
like I
of.
was saying, I was running for the gunner's stat.
Yeah, no problem. So one thing to keep in mind, I'll read this out just so everybody has an idea. Starship combat's tough. It's tricky. It's different than other things. And so bear with us here. So there are 3 phases that happen in a specific order. Once a phase is ended, you cannot go back to the phase until the next round. Captains can take part in any phase, but they can only act once per round. We're going to begin with an engineering phase, then the helm phase, and then the gunnery phase. Any other questions that people want answered real quick?
I feel like last time we did this, we thought it worked better when we all just like did the phases on like an initiative order.
That was for lockout, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was a little bit different.
So
'cause
we're
was
gonna do
on a
it
two-dimensional
traditionally?
plane. We're gonna give it a try.
Okay.
We're gonna give it our best shot. So go ahead, and what I would say is Echo, Shade, if you are piloting, and myself are all gonna go ahead and make some piloting checks. And this determines the order in which people are gonna start.
All right.
Oh gosh.
And it's better to
Oh,
have
gosh.
a
It
lower
really
roll,
depends.
right?
So whoever rolls the highest is going to go first in terms of like they get to move.
Everyone.
Or sorry,
shoots
other
at
way
the
around.
same
Other way
time.
around. The highest roll gets to go last.
Yeah.
And so ultimately you get to react to other people.
Yes.
But everybody who fires, all the damage and everything resolves, even if you destroy a ship, because it's accounting for like all that stuff traveling through space.
Okay.
All right. So they rolled an 8.
Cool.
What do we got?
18.
18. Okay. 34. Okay, very nice. So 34 is going to be the start with the directorship, then Echo, and then at the very end, this group.
Mosaic shuttle fighter.
And I will say your heads-up display, Echo, does identify them as Rorschach Space Superiority Fighters.
They're the
So
same.
very
kind.
similar,
They're
if not the same.
Similar.
the Rorschach fighters are pretty well known for being like super modifiable. They can kind of be whatever you need them to be. And so as a result, I mean, they look a little bit mismatched and modeled. This is not the same kind of ship that you guys fought Lockheed in. All right, so the way that this works, the pirates are going to have to move first.
Pirates!
6.
Are those pirates?
Oh, you did find them.
Yes, I did. You're
1.
missing magic officer, but that's okay. We'll just use our imagination.
I have engineer and captain.
You have. Oh.
Although I think captain in this is
Yeah.
gonna be yours.
That
Yeah.
would be useful, wouldn't it?
All right, so these
Jade?
ships in front of you, Echo, they tear out from behind the shade of this asteroid. As the light glints off them, almost like they recognize that they're now visual, they just blast off away from the cover of this passing asteroid, and they howl towards you. And for a moment, you think they're all going to head towards this ship, but one of them peels off towards you. That is their movement. Echo, where are you going?
Yours is backwards.
Oh.
We're listening.
Echo's going to pilot further into the debris field.
Okay.
And do I have to say what the computer's doing now too? Or is that next?
No, so you declare it when it's going to happen, what you're using the computer for.
Okay. So that...
Unless it's something that's going to happen in the helm phase.
Understood.
Anything else?
Hold, please.
No worries. We can go a little slower with this. Space combat's a little different.
Where? Okay, gunner happens during. Oh, the gunnery phase. No, Echo's gonna pilot further into the debris field.
Okay, no worries. So you
take it down
pilot further into the debris field. Can you move Echo's miniature? What is your speed?
6.
Dan, can you move Echo's miniature a little bit further into the debris field?
1, 2, 3,
And then they're gonna go in between those 2 asteroids.
5, 6. Yep.
That way. No,
like-
that way.
Oh, this
Towards you.
Yeah.
No, towards you.
Around between.
Okay.
Between.
Yeah,
Betwixt.
close.
Not towards Kenosha Station, just not
Other
all the
two.
way around.
Right here.
Oh my gosh.
No, God damn it!
Oh, you almost got it.
We need like one of those pool cues that like you use to get poker chips.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, you said
We got
between.
there. We got there. I'm not good at what are they called? Predicates? All right.
So
That is your movement. Shade. You watch as the pirates peel out into your visual view. In this moment, Echo like leans on the accelerator and just flies into the debris field. What are you doing?
Director disengage operative mode. Do we have to like take the time to switch over to it? I
No,
can
so
take
as you
control?
disengage, it instantly begins to like flip over and change. There is no like drawback to having operative mode as far as you could tell.
Okay, then I'm gonna switch us out so that I can maneuver a bit to get us ready to not get fucked by them.
Okay, what are you doing?
That's gonna be evade
Evade. Okay.
the stunt, which I believe is in the helm phase of piloting. Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Cool. So piloting check to move the starship up to its speed and turn as normal, but gain +2 AC/TL till the
Very
start of
nice.
next round. And the DC for it is going to be 10 plus 1.5 the ST, the starship tier. Not a great start, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my daily reroll hack
Okay.
to a natural 20.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah, no
nice.
problem. So as soon as you see this, you can see these 3 ships. They kind of cross over. One of them actually like peels between the other 2 and goes off towards Echo before Echo just zooms ahead. But as they turn to follow, they clearly feel as if that's like a pretty cool maneuver, and you just corkscrew the ship over and dive down and completely maneuver like past where they're going. You can see like as soon as your targeting computer begins to pick up that you're being targeted, it just cuts off. You are completely clear of their view, and you dive and turn around, and you can end up.
I'm gonna go the 6. I think our ship can move 6. So 1, 2, 3, or 1 to turn. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you can actually get one further because you don't burn 1 to turn. It's just that's how many like hexes it takes to turn.
Oh, okay, because the maneuverability turn 1, I thought was...
Yeah. No. So that means that like to turn,
1.
you need to at least move forward 1 before turning.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, I'll go here. Yeah. Because this one's coming. So, yeah, angle it this way so that this gun can
Yeah, no
get
problem.
the oncoming.
So Bubbles, as you're like running almost right in the gunner seat, you'll like slide in right in your turn to be able to act fine. You can see through the viewport like these ships swinging into view right in this moment. But that is all of the engineering phase. Unless there's anything else you want to do.
Magic officers and engineering.
Oh, wait.
You can. There's other
Well,
magic
you can
officers can go in
choose-
a bunch of different places.
That would have been the helm phase then, actually.
Yeah, I think we're in helm.
So it goes engineering, helm, gunnery.
Right.
Okay.
So engineering is when you guys are rolling your piloting checks and you guys move. Engineering is after that.
Helm is piloting checks, actually.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that!
So that I
Pilots
was
each attempt
confused
a
'cause
piloting
they
check to
had
determine
moved and
initiative.
Echo
Gotcha,
had
gotcha.
moved, so I thought that we were in piloting.
That makes sense. Let me go ahead and change this node around. Then I have it the wrong way.
So if we're in engineering,
Yeah. So helm over, engineering, and then gunner.
I just won't do an engineering check this round.
Okay.
Because I would like be diverting power or something.
Yeah. Getting everything kind of switched over.
I guess I'll do the one. Can I distribute more shields to the oncoming side in the engineering phase? It's an engineering check to divert power to a different system.
Yeah. So if you are instead of so
'Cause-
my mistake. So with the helm phase over and the engineering phase coming up, if you've
okay.
done the
I've
helm
done the
thing,
helm phase
yeah,
then. Okay.
it's all set.
Okay, cool.
Does that mean you've done your action for until the next round? So you don't get a turn next
I
until the
believe
next helm phase?
There's a few other things I think that are like minor actions that you can do, but yeah, for the most part.
Okay. Okay.
So no problem. That is going to be the helm phase, which brings us to the engineering phase. Unless there's something you wanted to do, Gibbs.
No, I'm in engineering.
Cool,
Sorry,
cool,
I got
cool.
confused.
So with the engineering phase now, we are going to, I think it's Shade, Echo, and then the Pirates.
For engineering phase.
Because you guys, I think for the moving, isn't the moving happening in reverse order, but then you're getting to act in the actual initiative order?
Yeah, but it goes engineering, helm,
Oh, and
gunnery,
it actually just
so
makes, it makes more sense either way, just to do it this way.
So,
So no problem.
after
Pirates,
the helm
then
phase.
then Echo, and then we'll do Shade. We'll do it in that order each time because that does make more sense. I think that's what we figured out last time. I think that's what.
Like
we
that
did.
you
Helm
do you do
phase.
your turn
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
the way we
cool.
do regular combat.
so yeah, we do
I
like
remember
all
that,
the
yeah.
phases.
Yeah, yeah. So what we'll do here then is we'll have Pirates go ahead for their engineering. So for this, I think all of them, the one that is going towards you, Echo, is going to go ahead and make a piloting check just to try to turn its
This blue
direction.
one?
Yeah. And it's going to turn just one turn in its space. Perfect. That's all it's going to do. They don't have a whole lot that they can do in their engineering phase. Anything else engineering phase? Echo.
Engineering phase?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No problem. Shade?
'Cause I only get 2 actions, right?
You have one, and then I think you can use like another one, but it's the computer, using the computer's modifier, not your own.
Cool. So that I can save. I would save the computer for the gunnery then.
I would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Just checking.
You don't have to.
I want to understand.
Yeah. Shade and group. Anything from Shade's ship.
Can I now do the diverting power?
So again, you used your action for the round in the helm phase.
Okay,
Yeah.
but not my exocortex.
It's on Echo.
It's on Echo right now.
It's still because we had switched out of
that was switched
operative
out of
mode that I thought that my exocortex
That's a
was
good
no
point,
longer
yeah.
connected.
Homebrewing operative mode made this really
Sorry.
tough.
Yeah.
No worries. It's a good thing to
I like
find
it,
out.
though. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
it's
yeah,
cute.
it just needs a little bit of finicky because also, yeah. Give me one second.
Don't worry, I'll help Echo.
So yes, you absolutely can use your exocortex action.
Okay, cool. Then I will divert power to shields.
Yeah,
on
make
that
an
side.
engineering check. Anybody else for engineering phase?
Yes.
Yes.
Mysticism. I will spend a resolve point. Achoo! Sneezing on the Gibbs keyboard and casting Mystic Haze, and I can I target a? Oh, I target an enemy ship's view. So perfect.
Captain ship.
You have.
So I will target the ship that's porting towards Echo, and I want to give boons to Echo.
Yeah,
Is that
But
like
the-
a smoke screen?
basically, yeah. It's like a
Yes.
mystic haze.
DC 20 plus 1.5 Starship tier.
Okay.
Uses my mysticism, but I rolled real crap. So I think it's 18.
18 will be a miss, unfortunately.
Okay.
18, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do shit then.
Does
Unfortunate.
it still go into the area though?
No, it
I mean,
doesn't.
from a flavor standpoint,
Yeah, okay.
yes, this
Okay,
like
makes
cloud through, and it's green and it's goopy, but this other ship just ducks underneath it as part of its about face.
As you're starting to like pull the triggers for the guns, little like dust smokes because we haven't used our guns in a really long time. Like,
Yeah,
but do nothing.
no problem. Okay, anything else for engineering?
I got a 28 for the engineering check.
Cool. How are you moving your shields?
I'm diverting power to the side over here from this back side.
Okay, so mark off that transfer.
Would I free action be able to ask the director to implement targeting systems?
You so that's actually I think a minor action in the gunnery phase. Yeah, and you absolutely can have director do that, and that's kind of like that minor action from the ship standpoint. No problem. So nothing else for engineering.
That's it.
Great. Running over to the gunnery phase. So.
In Bubs' mind, he's like imagining like how rabbits used to cross the road, and then sometimes they'd be roadkill, and he's trying to make the roadkill happen.
Okay. Keep thinking about that. They're gonna fire first.
Yeah.
And so the one that is aiming towards you, Echo, you can see as this like cloud just passes over top it. In the front, there is a point of light that just is visible for a moment.
Oh.
Does a 22 hit?
Question.
Yes.
So it says AC and TL,
This is AC.
and then it says pilot ranks.
Yes.
Do I include my pilot ranks?
No. Pilot ranks?
Yeah, it's your piloting ranks, right?
Pilot ranks.
Oh,
plus
oh,
our-
yes. Your piloting ranks. Sorry, yeah. It's probably 0 in there, but you had your piloting ranks.
Okay.
It's 10 plus the piloting skill ranks plus the Starship's armor bonus.
Yeah, so it's
Plus
7
size
plus 16
modifier,
is
plus
23.
23. Oh, just misses. And a good thing, too, you can see right behind you that double asteroid that's like floating by. It takes the shot from this particle beam and it just ignites, almost like ripping. And you can see green flames dance across as whatever metals are inside this just ignite. And this just snaps in half and twirls off in 2 different directions.
So the butt crack is flammable?
Not flammable necessarily, but there are metal composites in here that definitely ignite. That is that one. The other 2, from where they are, they cannot shoot at you, and so that is going to be their turn. Echo, what do you want to do in the gunnery phase?
Echo is going to attempt to target the ship that's following them.
Okay, yeah, aft cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Okay, so the attack roll. Sorry.
No worries. I've been trying to get you guys into Starship Combat for almost a year now. So I was hoping we would have had it down by now when I was writing out the whole arc, but you guys, with Mystic Haze, you floated through an entire combat.
I love Mystic
They're
Haze. It's
stoked
my
there. It's
favorite
really,
fucking
really good.
thing.
Make the following check: 1d20 plus gunner's piloting rank plus gunner's dex mod plus computer system bonuses
It's Mathfinder, guys.
is.
Are you
So would that be the modifiers of 2? Is the computer system bonus, or is that
Yes.
okay?
This also says modifiers plus 4 to computers for directive 02, right?
But I'm
Yeah,
not directed
there's
to-
a stronger computer on the director.
Right, okay.
So piloting rank 7 plus 5. So 12 plus 2 is 14. $25.
With a 25, absolutely a hit. This is a little starfighter. The Rorschach fighters, built such as they are like hobbled together with many modular parts, and so not the most durable ship, but yeah, great.
Oh, light laser cannon is 2d4. So many dice! 5. Do I add modifiers to that?
I believe it's just flat damage because it's not like your dexterity modifier really adding to the damage. 5, no problem. Give me 1 second here. All right, so right across the front, 5 burns across, and you see the shields ignite, probably taking the majority of that. Anything else, Echo?
That's the computer action and question.
Answer.
So I used my dexterity mod and my base attack bonus for that. Was I not supposed to?
For that, I think it's just your. I think it's just your gunnery, the gunnery ones. I don't think you add any kind of like dexterity mod unless it tells you to.
It doesn't here, but because that's the computer doing it for Echo.
Oh no, then no, it doesn't. That makes
okay.
sense. Yeah.
So what should I take off of that then?
2.
Just take 2 off?
Just take 2 off.
Okay, so it's 23.
Still hits.
Cool. Then 5.
No problem.
And
So
no
you see
more things.
the shields ignite just a little bit. This sparks off. It weaves and tries to dodge out of the way, but definitely hits. That is Echo, Shade and Company.
What phase are we in?
Gunnery
This is the
phase.
gunnery phase. So
I'm ready to fire.
Gunnery.
Yeah, so you jump and slide into the seat. The targeting system's already beginning to register.
Okay, I got this.
And he's like trying to focus. He's trying to like move his eyes around the brown paint that's on the windshield
Yeah.
that Gibbs horribly painted. And he's going to just like breathe in, do like kind of like some like self affirmations, and then like hold
The whole
up.
combat's just done.
Yeah.
Echo's ship blows up in the distance.
And he's gonna like slow down time in his head, and like
you're a firework.
the target system will line up on this blue ship that's going after Echo, and he's gonna go for a nice little fire.
Nice,
It's like
yeah.
a shoot
Yeah,
action.
a nice little shooty. Ooh, that's a 3.
Wait, add a
Plus
+3 to your
7.
check here.
Plus 4, so
Plus
10,
Plus
17,
3, use one of the modifiers.
18 plus 22. Is there any bonuses from captain or crew?
You get the +3 here. And
No,
that's
because
the
I don't think
only
anyone gave you any over the course.
Nobody has yet.
You do have the targeting lock is at
Oh, yeah, that's the additional action phase. Is there any additional? What do I get from the targeting log, Joe?
I think it's +2.
Okay, so I'm at 24, and then that's minus the range penalty.
Okay, so 24 minus the range penalty. At the moment, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, so that's just -1.
Okay.
Oh, you're great. Yeah, no problem. That hits.
Nice.
This ship, you can see it's pretty small. And as you are like targeting it, you see Echo's fire goes across, and this small light laser cannon like pulls away a lot of the ship's shield. You can see it flickers a little bit. However, you are currently targeting its port side.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage for that.
That's yeah, port side.
Ooh, that's a 3 plus. That's 2d4.
2d4.
3 plus 1, 4.
Okay, this lights up, and you can see the shields again flicker, and there are sparks, and it still holds, but it's starting to get worn down across those sectors.
Bob's just like vibrating. Ah!
Yeah, no
The
problem.
range is 5 hexes for the directed.
Oh, fantastic. Then no worries. Yeah, you're fine.
Nice. That's my turn.
Excellent. That is your turn. Anything else for the gunnery phase?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spice, like, rolls her finger around that helmet by the captain's seat and
It's in
doesn't
the back,
actually sit down. And instead, she goes over to, like, I imagine the cockpit has, like, a bunch of boards going around the front, and then the window in or the screen in the front. She goes to one of, like, the side computers and does a prioritized calculation, but doesn't even look at the computer. And that is going to temporarily suspend computer tasks running in non-critical systems, prioritizing combat calculations made to a specific station. Add +1 to a single check this round. Shit. Well, it does nothing.
No, it does a station.
It would have been good to use it probably at the start.
Earlier, yeah.
So before my.
So, yeah. Whoops.
But no problem. You lump that in, and that laser hits extra hard.
Yeah.
The targeting system, for what it's worth, Bubbles, it's almost as if as it speeds up and the element of light kind of dances across the screen, bits of the paint begin to fleck away, and you can see a little bit better. But no worries. Anything else in the gunnery phase?
That's it.
Alrighty, that brings us to the top of the order, the helm phase. First, I
I'm
believe
sitting in a different
Engineering
seat,
phase.
Engineering phase is next.
but I have to
Then
change
helm.
seats.
It goes engineering, helm, gunnery.
I have helm engineering gunnery down.
There. It's like that sideways
Oh,
chart.
look at that. Look at that. Lovely. Open. Engineering. Helm. Gunnery. Great. Okay, so. Give me 1 second. Let me switch this around. I had this switched. All right. Engineering phase. This is beginning, I think, with the piloting checks, correct? Or is that starting in the
No,
helm?
that's at the helm phase.
Okay,
Right now,
engineering.
it's magic officer, chief mate,
This makes so much more sense in terms of the order. Okay.
captain.
Getting the
and
ship ready,
engineer.
doing stuff with the ship, then firing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So-
Engineering phase. Cool. For the pirates. These pirates, I think, probably given the fact that this one's getting torn up by both Echo and the director. Okay, well, that's not great. And then the other two. Echo, the one that is kind of targeting you, you see the shields flicker and they are trying to redirect energy. It doesn't seem to be working terribly well. The other two are going to attempt some other things. Fantastic. Mark that for later. Anything from Echo for the engineering phase? Alrighty. Shade and company.
Yes.
So, the piloting check is separate from the helm phase prior to.
Yeah, it's the
and
open
that
phase.
is the helm phase is the only one that's ascending order. So
I think it makes more sense just to
Movement-
keep the same phase
Yeah.
order, you know?
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I think it's like movement is
That makes
reverse
sense,
order,
yeah.
and then we would still fire first because we were.
That's what I was saying before, but I think it does
But
work easier
it's
just to do it the other
easier.
way.
It's a lot of switching around.
No worries.
So yeah.
I
Magic
changed
officer?
seats. No, I changed seats.
Oh.
At the open phase, I announced it. So I unplug my Gib keyboard and then hop in the seat next to Shade.
Okay.
So instead of being behind him, I'm next to him and plug my Gibbs keyboard back
Isn't
in.
that where Bubs is?
No, he's in the gun.
No, he's in the gunneries.
Oh, you're in the gun. You're not in the
And
physics.
over the comms, I'll just be like, Bubs, you need to do better. Echo's depending on you and demand you do better.
Bub's like straightens up.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
So DC 15 plus, what's our starship tier, please?
That's
8.
yeah.
So what's my DC then? So sorry, 15 plus 8 is 20. I fail. You don't feel inspired by my yelling at you, unfortunately.
The entire overhead system, just because you shut down the non-essential functions, the function that cancels out the feedback is gone, and so it's just speaker into echo, and it goes echo, 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 and it just goes screech, and it throws your concentration off. Not inspired at all.
Cool. But I'm now sitting in the captain's seat,
There you go.
so I am the captain now.
You are the captain now.
Are we in engineering?
We are an engineer.
Yes, mine's an open. So
Spice is going to run her long fingernails back across the same keyboard and attempt an acrobatics check to divert systems to get a +1 to systems, but if I fail it's a -2 to engineering on this one.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're trying to do. So this is an engineering check, I think, actually. It's not acrobatics.
Well, no, it's acrobatics.
yeah, it's that's the skill you use to do
Gotcha,
this.
gotcha.
She's doing maintenance panel access.
Gotcha,
basically, it's
gotcha,
how
okay.
fast and nicely you can get into
No
it.
problem. Go for it.
Please be good. Natural 19
Okay.
plus 29, and then the DC is 10 plus 1.5.
So it's
starship tier.
8 is our 1.5.
So
18.
18. So that was your DC. Nice. So you
well, I got it by
just
one.
on the die.
So what is the effect of that?
On success, engineer diverts.
Engineer
What
can
the
divert or
fuck?
So it gets
overpower.
another
overpower,
bonus.
It gets a
on top of
+1 to
Well-
a system. What system did you pick?
Yeah.
So I can choose engineering.
There's,
What are the systems here?
Speed from engines, science equipment for the science officer,
No one's looking at that.
damage to weapons, and redistribution of shields.
Well, I'll do redistribution of shields.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so right now I have it at 15% on this side, 5% on this side, and then the other two are both 10 and 10.
So
Because I
I want
diverted
to
to
even
this
out.
side.
Right.
No, you want more on the side we're gonna take damage from.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, so taking all of the shields off of this side and putting them on this side.
Almost across that side, Bubbles, your visual field begins to glow as the shield becomes not quite opaque, but definitely intensifies around it. All right. Anything else for the engineering phase? All right.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
No, actually, never mind.
Cool, helm phase.
Just diverted, so.
For the helm phase, we're going to start off with the pirates, and then we'll go Echo and then Shade. So In the helm phase, only one of these guys was successful. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll make my piloting check to maneuver.
Ooh.
Where do you see divert and overpower on this list?
Those are in the engineering. So
You have a different sheet than we have over here.
No, I don't think he does.
No, it's the same one.
Can you point?
engineering,
That changes.
like the engineer, it's engineer's actions.
Oh, overpower is here.
Yeah.
So you can
You
see
need to resolve
one of the starships turns and goes straight forward before kicking all the way up and over, and then turning back around in a barrel roll to aim back towards Echo's ship. All three of these ships now are turned and oriented towards Echo, as they seem to be accelerating a little bit in that direction. Echo, what would you like to do for movement?
Echo is going to attempt a maneuver. They're going to attempt a flyby
Okay.
to just cut straight between. Gentlemen. To cut straight between these two asteroids.
Yeah.
No,
Nope, between.
this way.
There we go.
This way. And that is a DC 15 plus. So DC 18
Okay.
for me. Which, I mean, I can't fail because I have a plus 17 of
Yeah, there you
piloting
go.
checks. But that's a 29.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Echo flies shit.
So with the flyby, I believe that means that you get an attack, correct, and they don't get one?
That does. During the gunnery, I succeed, so I don't provoke an attack. So I can move through one enemy-occupied hex without provoking, and then during gunnery phase, single arc of weapons can fire as if enemy starship is at one range.
Very, very nice. All right, so we'll come back and revisit the results of that. Anything else for Helm? Or sorry, for Echo's Helm.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
When I do the flyby, does that still mean the computer is handling the guns?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heard. That's all.
Shade and Company. Helm phase.
Cool. So I want to do also a flyby to try and cut these two off from chasing after Echo here.
Okay, yeah.
And kind of like scooch up this way so that Bubby can broadside them.
Yeah, go ahead and make your piloting check.
And I actually made the piloting check prior, and it was a 16 on the die plus.
With your piloting modifier, that's
So
certainly
it's
succeeds.
like a 35 or something.
Yeah. I think a 38. Okay, no worries. So that succeeds.
Oh, yeah,
You
'cause-
pull around in a tight arc, and as you do, you like have jiggle up and down, so that way you can kind of skirt through these particle beams. And as you do, you pull up right parallel, and as time slows down, Bubbles, through the screen, you can actually see through the canopy of this starship, this humanoid-looking figure, the piloting helmet on. You can actually see the person in the cockpit for just a second. They are perfectly squared away. But we'll revisit that on the gunnery phase. Anything else for Shade and Company Helm?
I can't change my position, right?
Correct.
the
You have to
top
do
of
it
the
at the
round.
top of the round.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna be running around a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't do shit good.
That
here.
brings us to the gunnery phase. With the gunnery phase, we're going to start off with these pirate guys. Echo, you don't provoke an attack of opportunity. That one is going to get a strike. Actually, two of them are going to get strikes against you with this particle beam. Well, I guess we'll see. That is going to be a total of 12 for the first.
Nope.
And a much better total of 20 for the second.
Nope.
All right. So these beams just streak across, but as you turn around and you like wing this over to the side, you're able to make it so that they like trace these lasers almost like an X across the asteroid behind, and it just splits into different parts. You're doing just fine out there. That is their gunnery phase.
Almost like this is what I made Echo for.
Yeah, look at that. That is going to bring us to Echo's gunnery phase. Echo, with the flyby, you can go ahead and make that attack as you streak by. The ship beeps and targets.
Natural one.
Natural
Oh,
one.
you hate it.
So you streak forwards and you fire, and as you fire, you watch this single little beam of laser just out lonely into the dark. And as it disappears, you see just one more ignite. And it seems to be coming from that mine right there. And it seems to be getting bigger. We'll get back to that. Echo, that is your gunnery phase, Shade and Company.
I would like to do a gunnery ability called Broadside.
Yeah.
Fire all starships mounted in one arc. Each weapon can target any vessel in that arc. Each attack has a -2 to hit. So I get to do attack roll, I believe.
Yeah, you can do it.
each of them.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Love that. That's basically a full attack with the ship. That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's only -2, which is way better.
Yeah, and I think also it's super cool because with the flyby and everything, this is a good use of that synergy.
Yeah.
And especially having Echo out on the solo ship, the person who can do the piloting as well. Ugh,
Bubs
well
is like
put together.
waiting for the ship to turn. He's like, come on, and he's like at like the pivot of the angle, trying to like move it as close. He's like banging it with his shoulder, and he gets it with the final one, and he fires the shot.
Yeah.
And that's a 3.
For a total of what? I mean, these are relatively small starships, and so the
And it's your
Plus,
stats
I rolled a
too.
3 last time, actually,
plus-
so it would be
yeah.
the exact
so
same
that's a
thing.
hit.
22.
Yeah, absolutely, that's a hit. Yeah, it's
funny.
not a terribly high AC for these things.
Yeah.
And their shield's not
Yeah,
super
we are
strong.
a large ship going up against a bunch of fighters.
That's a 3 plus a 1. Well, I rolled the exact same thing.
Hey, there you go. But you know what? What do we say here? Every little bit counts. So 3 plus a 1 is a 4.
Yeah.
And that is going to be against the
First ship.
starboard side.
And then I get to roll again.
Yep.
Second ship. And I'm just like, keep banging my shoulder. That's a 9.
A 9.
Plus everything
Still
else I
hits.
hit.
Yeah, go for it.
3 and 2. 5.
5.
I'm
Very
just going,
nice.
come on, the Bubsy.
And the lasers just streak out, and as you can hear the fire go from this cockpit, the machinery just rippling down into the hull of the body, you can see they strike and spark off the shields. As you hit both of them, the shields still hold, but the first one that you hit, you can see the shields like flickering and fading across most of the part. The only real steady part in the back. But that is gunnery phase. Anybody else?
As I do that, do I make eye contact with any of them in the ship?
You briefly did before they like streaked
Okay.
underneath and you like unleashed that
I'm going to try to
broadside.
remember what they look like.
Yeah, no problem. Look like a flight helmet. That is the gunnery phase. That is going to bring us all the way back to the engineering phase. In this engineering phase,
I'm
for what it's
switching.
worth. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch also.
I might not.
What are you switching to?
Science officer.
Okay.
Here's
See,
that.
Spice, like, looks at the captain's seat, looks away, goes, oh, this is where Bess used to sit, and sits in Bess's old seat.
Just musical chairs.
I'm gonna stay where I was because I saw that movement happened. Why is that going closer? Why is that going closer? I don't like that. No, none of that.
It's the homing mine. So, at the very top of this, that red light growing brighter and brighter, it seems as if this might be tracking you now.
Tracking us?
Tracking Echo.
Echo.
And this mine is certainly designed to counter ships more the size of the director's ship. This is like roughly the size of your ship, for what it's worth. That being said, that jumps us right into the engineering phase. The pirates, I think probably the guy who is like has that on his scanners, is going to attempt to just, he's going to attempt to get a little further away. And that's going to work. So we'll get back to that. For the other two, I think the one that took the second shot, well, no, they got nothing they need to do. That is engineering for the pirates. That brings us to Echo. Engineering for Echo.
No.
Okay. Engineering for Shade and Company.
Open phase.
Are we aware of the incoming mine on our ship?
Yeah, with your sensors, absolutely.
Okay.
Aren't the sensors disabled because last session didn't somebody disable them?
Or no, we put them back on.
Put them
Yeah,
back
you
on.
put them
Yeah,
back
it
I
was
can
like
put all the systems back on.
I'm gonna just realign with an engineering check, reposition the shields to be more balanced
go for
on
it.
this side. Yeah, I think it passes. It's like a 28 or something.
With a 28? Yeah, that definitely passes. I think you need a 26. So as you see Spice from her console slams on something and the shields all fly to the side, and as the ships go underneath, you see Spice run to a different chair. So you have to go and tug down. It switches all the shields back to the other side. you're having to like dynamically pivot almost all the energy in this ship around in like a circle.
Yeah, so
We
I'm
high
basically
five as we
taking
succeed.
the forward and putting like 5% there.
Okay.
And then like rebalancing the two sides.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're just kind of like taking the damage and spreading it.
Well, taking
Keeping it
the
a little bit
shields
more
and-
forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. That is oh yeah.
Because I can speak to Echo on the comms, can I demand of her and treat her like a crew member?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay, great, cool. Then I'm gonna demand that you don't die.
You're in the captain seat, right?
I am.
Yeah, of course.
Don't die, Echo! There's a mine chasing you! Oh my god! Natural 20!
Fantastic.
There's stuff that happen. Yeah.
And this
wow.
is, I mean, this is squadron rules, so absolutely you can use this.
Cool.
And,
Yeah.
and- yeah.
So you get a +4 in any one check, and because I got a crit success, +1 use of demand on this. Oh, I get to do this again to you if I want to,
Nice.
instead of it being a 1 per day thing. You
Very,
get it
very nice.
Again later, maybe.
So this screech comes out. It's the second one that you've heard, Echo. It whistles not just through the auditory thing, but like into the very core of your machinery. It like vibrates elements of the machinery that makes up your self. And so as that happens, you just don't want to deal with it again. You are going to razor focus on the next thing you need to do so that Gibbs will stop. Anything else in the engineering phase? All right, that brings us over to helm phase. With the helm phase, these pirate guys are going to move, and then Echo, and then Shade and Company. Spice, is there something that you wanted to do?
No, I just want to take my action during helm.
The
You're
computer.
the science officer today?
Yep.
Alright.
Today.
This round.
This
I am.
round.
I think I should be able to do that with my exocortex, I'm realizing, because those are all computers checks.
They are.
Yeah. But
I can't do shit.
Well, does
you live and you learn.
exocortex have resolve points? Question mark.
I think it comes from the well that I just had.
Okay.
It's like I can use... My exocortex is basically a free computers
All right,
check
Echo, where would you like to move?
as an
Fly by back towards the blue guy.
Very nice. Go ahead and
Oh,
make your
Echo.
piloting check.
Risky, I love it.
That's going to be a 26.
Very nice. A little closer this time, but as you're able to like dig down and push down on the joystick,
moves.
for this, you like fly by the first one, you splash laser fire across it, and as the other ship pulls up right underneath you, you reverse the thrusters, almost backflipping the ship. It pulls G's that would probably make a fully biological creature just completely black out. You can see like the yellow lights or the blue lights now back to the regular mode, just dim for a second before fully brightening up. And you see the other ship just cross right into your field of view. We'll get back to that in the gunnery phase. Anything else for Helm Echo?
No.
All right, Helm from Shade and Company.
You should go first because yours is gonna give buffs to someone.
Yes, it is.
So
So Spice, sitting in her old dear friend Bess's seat, is going to feel inspired by his ghostly presence and attempt a lock-on.
I like how his ghostly presence. It's not like he died. His contract got bought out by his
Yeah,
rich dad.
well, that's what she feels like he died.
Fair enough.
He abandoned
He
us.
died to
all.
capitalism.
Yeah.
He really
he
did.
still supports the team in a very useful way.
I could use some more support.
I should probably ask.
Yeah, he
It's a
sent you what he
computer's
wanted.
check, which is
We love you, Vess.
22 against the enemy's 1.5 times the enemy starship tier plus DC 5 plus countermeasure defense.
Okay.
And I got a
Divided
22.
by the square root of
I know.
five.
But if I get it, it'll be good.
So you rolled above a 20?
I did.
You succeed.
Oh, so that means she turns around, winks at Bubbles, and the gunners take a +2 on gunnery checks.
Very nice.
Bubbles
So-
sees this wink.
Bubbles, it's like suddenly from like the camera console here, across the heads-up display over the brown paint, you just see like a little boom, and it's like the webcam basically on the station that Spice is on, and there's just a quick wink and it goes off. And it's the first time that you really got any positive interaction from Spice in the last like probably 3 days, aside from getting the shit kicked out of you.
Is that
I wouldn't call that positive, whatever.
I'm not gonna kink shame. So
Bubs likes it.
That is helm phase for Spice. Anything else on the ship?
Yes. I would like to do a barrel roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a piloting check.
I'm trying to go like...
From your view screen, yeah, you can see Echo does almost the exact same thing, except technically I think they do an barrel roll, you do an aerials. I think
Who
that's
here
called.
is actually buckled in their seat?
Nobody, but
I am.
space. Space has this great thing where you're not going to fly out of your seat.
Also,
because
It's space. No one can hear you fall.
Gravity just helps.
Bubs is buckled no matter what.
bring
Nerd.
your own
Are there
seatbelt
even
that doesn't
air
attach, you just like to click it in.
There's gonna be a lot. So base is a 30 plus 2 plus
Yeah, absolutely, that makes it.
like a bunch of other.
So you
pluses.
absolutely just lean into the controls. You flip the ship over, switching the sides.
Yeah. So now we're like here.
Yeah.
Eventually landing there.
Yeah, no problem. So just end over end, right over top. Bubbles, from your gunner seat, you see that like piloting helmet in the cockpit of the enemy ship. Just watch as you go over top. You end up just right on the other side, almost in proximity to where Echo is.
Yeah.
But no problem. That is your helm phase. Anything else, Shade and Company helm phase?
Nope.
All right. That brings us to the gunnery phase. From these little ships, from the first one that has kind of taken the most damage from all of you, they can't really, I don't think they're close enough. Yeah. Echo, you see these light laser cannons just fire off. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Does not hit.
There you go. So at this distance, just and they just go far and wide. The director like blares for a second as the laser cannon actually gets closer to hitting the director, but still missing pretty wide. The other two, who are significantly closer, I think are one of them is going to take an attack roll against Echo. Echo, that is going to be a 28 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Alrighty. Where my D4? Ooh. You are going to be taking. Ooh, sorry. That's. I was being really nice to you.
I was gonna say.
You are
Particle
taking
beams?
9 points of damage as this particle beam just zzz across the
Is
back
that
of the.
port or aft?
This is. This is probably going to be aft.
Shields are down to 1%.
And so this just streaks across, and the shields almost instantly drain as this particle beam almost runs counter to the shield's energy. But still holding. That is all of their gunnery phase. That brings us to Echo. Echo, anything in the gunnery phase from that flyby?
Yes.
This coffee is phenomenal, by the way.
Penny World's Tavern.
Buzzing.
Many World's Taverns. Wow, this is phenomenal.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a
Yes.
sponsor, but if you guys want to work together.
Give us
Flyby going to be let's do forward because it's the whole flyby thing.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Forward particle beam weapons at
Did you already use your +4?
no, that's what I'm using for.
Nice.
Nice.
25.
25, that hits.
Yes! All the dice! Not enough dice!
9.
9. Hey, I mean, that's still pretty good. And as that is the first time that the front shields get hit, almost instantly the full thing just drains. You watch as that, like, instantly you see a little, like, of an asteroid actually hit the hull and then go on. It doesn't hit any kind of shield, almost completely down to the front. Anything else, Echo?
That's Echo.
Alrighty. Shade and Company, you can see the fighter that is right behind you in your field of view. The shields begin to draw down. You see one that's beginning to kind of flee off in the direction of Canosa Station. Their shields are looking pretty rough. What would you guys like to do?
we are now back
gunnery.
into the gunnery.
Yeah.
This is only second round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see this one right now, and it's trying to get away.
Yeah, we're like flipping.
Yeah.
So
They weren't trying to get away, but you guys flipped over them. So now
Yeah.
they're kind of like off to the side of you.
Bub's is gonna just be like, I like the cut of your gib, but you're not getting away that easy.
Gibbs, you hear your name.
It's
You
kinda
like-
perk up from around the
I'm
hall.
gonna say jib.
You get a +2 because of my
There you go.
fancy
Wink.
engineering.
I rolled a
Wink.
2, but it still hits.
A 2. Wait, a 2 is you rolled a 3 before, and that was what?
But he gets a +2.
But he gets a +2 this time.
Right. Yeah. You're
I
good.
get positive ridiculous because I have a super high
And we
number.
also
Good.
still
Yeah,
have
no
the
problem.
+3 to any 3 checks
I have
per
+7.
round.
It's
No
ridiculous.
problem. The targeting system, Spice's wink.
Modifiers.
You're pretty sure you just
You're
said
welcome.
Gibbs said something nice.
That saved you.
Yeah, this absolutely just rips across
take
this
that.
thing. Go ahead and roll damage for it.
We can use it 3 times around, so.
Right.
As Bubs does this, he fires it. That's a 1, and that's a 3. 4.
Okay.
Bubs is gonna say,
What's your starship tier?
It's not easy, but I make it look so easy.
It just strikes off across, and you can see it bounce off the shield. Not doing as much damage as some of the other shots that you've seen people take recently, but still some. Anything else, Bubs?
I'll take it.
Alrighty. Anybody else for the gunnery phase? It's going to bring us back to the top of the order.
Is it an open phase action to communicate with the main ship?
I mean, it depends on the depth of that communication. If it's to use like an ability or effect, then I mean that's kind of a free action as long as it's not a crazy long transmission.
Cool. I can continue to draw fire and provide cover.
There you go. Open round. Anybody changing roles?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, where? You go first.
Spice gets out of Vessa's old chairs, looks at Gibbs's seat
Go.
as a magic officer, and is like, this, what is this? What is it? Goldilocks and the Three Bears or whatever shit.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
forge is too hot. This forge is too cold. She's gonna go, I'm gonna go try that one. Sits in the mystic.
It's
Magic
sticky.
officer.
It's like
Yeah.
like
So
very
fucking
immediately
sticky.
as you sit in it, it's like when you sit down in like a public movie theater right at the end of the night. All the little kids have just cleared out from like the very first showing of the Pokemon movie, and it's just sticky. You don't know that you'll be able to get out, but you sit down.
She spits on both of her hands and locks in.
There you
I
go.
love that. I see it. My eyes like tear up a little as I'm so very fucking proud, and I just sit the fuck back down.
There you go. Not changing station. Stayed exactly where you are.
I'm gonna have my exocortex change to science officer now that is open.
Okay, very cool. The exocortex spins off and different lights light up in the science console. Engineering phase.
Open. Yes. Me.
Oh, so open phase first. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
I can do any phase, so
Okay.
I've been doing it on the engineering
Yeah,
phase.
go for it.
Seeing my heart well up with pride, I look at Spice like I just turn around in my seat and I'm like a little kid, my claws over it, and I just rest my chin just like watch her turn as I'm like so proud that she's in my seat and like whatever. And I'm like, don't fuck it up. And I'm gonna make a demand of you. But I get to use my mysticism because I get to like pick if I want to use it to improve your performance. And I'm gonna use the +3 from the ship. And my DC is 23, and I rolled an 8 + 16 +3.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so I'm over. So you get a +4 on any one of your checks that you choose, because I've demanded you.
Perfect.
Not
Because
fuck it
I'm
up.
going to need that. Thank you.
Yeah, I figure.
So you say, don't fuck it up. And as you spit in your hands and slap it down on the console, it's almost like the console spits back on your hands a little bit as the willpower from Gibbs seeps into the microorganisms that kind of reside within this ecosystem, and they respond to your touch. It's a little gross, but in the
one
heat
now.
of battle, yeah, you're one. No problem. Anything else from you, Gibbs, from that?
No, that's my phase. I just watch you.
So, engineering phase. I'm going to say the individual who just took a whole bunch of shots is going to attempt a maneuver, and they're going to fail. Wow. Okay. And then the person who is in blue is going to succeed on theirs. That is engineering for the pirates. Anything for Echo? Engineering.
Engineering?
Yeah.
No.
Alrighty. That is Echo's engineering. Shade and Company engineering.
I am no longer engineering.
Great.
So, and my exocortex isn't, so
No problem. If there is nothing further for engineering.
+3 for piloting.
I haven't needed to.
So you also can use a +3 on your turn because we can
Okay. Is this the third round yet?
Yeah, we're in the third round.
Okay, so then, yes, I want to take my action.
Okay. What would you like to do?
For
I am going
Engineering.
to feel the disgusting goo kind of seep further up her arms and into her brain. Spice is going to reach out with, connect her mind to it, and she's going to scry on the other ship.
Okay.
And
Do you have ranks in mysticism?
You don't need to spend ranks for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah, some of
super
the stuff
cool.
you spend ranks for, some of it you don't need
Super,
ranks.
super cool. Yeah, go for it.
So this is good because now I have +7. So 17, 18, 19. And the DC is 5 plus 1.5 enemy starship tier plus countermeasure defense.
What did you roll?
19.
That
20.
succeeds.
Nice.
Is that
A 19 still succeeds.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the important part of it, if she over exceeds, she gets to learn +1 for every 5 exceeding the check.
But I didn't get
So
Did you get the
no,
plus-
it's
you get the
19. So yeah, you only do one.
So I get to learn either basic info,
Okay.
defenses, weapon, load, or other.
What would you like to know?
I want to know other. What's something
Yeah,
weird
other.
about these
Yeah,
pirates?
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Sure. So this is a Rorschach mechanical design SSF F-20, which is a space superiority fighter. This is a hodgepodge of different mechanical parts. Almost all of them originate from the United Solari Republic, for what it's worth.
Okay.
You see, mostly human in design. And I would say,
They're based out of this area.
yeah, I mean, not a ton of like super interesting stuff. These are pirates.
You want our booty?
Who knows?
Yeah, they
That's
do.
why we're fighting on this little butt asteroid.
Yeah, butt asteroid.
I guess it doesn't say Star Wraith on the side of the ship, does it? Do I need
Star
to do
what?
Wraith?
Wraith?
It does not. No.
Okay.
I heard something after. I was like, what?
No Star Wraith here.
Okay.
So,
Just making
anything
sure.
else? Anything else for engineering?
That's all I can do.
Alrighty, that brings us into the
I
home
high
phase.
five Spice on the face.
Right in the face. No problem. So for the helm phase, these pirates. Oh, you go way over.
How low
He
can
doesn't have COVID. Relax.
It's the armpit stank.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of armpit stank.
Why would you then lift it up in front of you?
Hello, my friends.
They
Smell
can
my
far.
pits.
These are speedy little
So
guys.
this is the one that's using a check in the engineering.
Oh,
phase
Ah.
to
do
boost
that,
their... Yeah.
Does Echo get an opportunity attack on that E1?
Does that work in space?
Yeah, you can make
That's
You
what
opportunity.
the
can.
flyby is
It's,
for.
the flyby prevents them from doing that. Yeah.
Is this a flyby?
No.
Do we get an opportunity
Yeah, that's-
attack on
yeah.
that guy? Let's move.
I think he's still in range.
From that individual, I believe so.
Because he was there and we had like barrel rolled.
I
to
believe
the
so.
side.
From this one, you're not though, because they're moving around. The other
So
way.
Echo doesn't get that one, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because even though they're right in front of you, they're
Yeah,
going
there's a-
around like that to do
yeah.
an arc.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you guys want to, you certainly
I'll
can.
make a gunner.
Yeah, go for it.
All I do is get higher than.
Well, so no, an attack of opportunity does take a pretty significant negative, I
Okay.
believe.
What do I?
Give me 1 second here. I thought you had it pulled up.
The attacks.
But I used a +3. She used a +3. Shade hasn't, so you can use a +3.
Okay, so it's 7 plus my gunner's dex, so that's 11, plus the computer ship bonus, which is 4.
No, it's +2, but you can also do a +3. So
Okay, so it's
+5
+2.
total.
Okay, so +5. So 11 plus 5 is 16, plus the 9 that I rolled is
25.
25.
Plus the bonus from Gibbs.
Okay, so 25 plus the bonus from Gibbs is
Oh no, you can just make one around. That's the
20.
only limitation.
28.
28 definitely hits.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as Bubs is doing that, he's going to say, "When I'm done with you, they're going to be scraping you off the side of this asteroid."
Oh, too soon.
1.
Very, very too soon because it was the lowest damage possible.
How much?
2.
2. Hey, you know what? What do we
Every
say?
little bit counts. So this guy took
Exactly.
2.
2. And for what it's worth, it's 2 right in the front. You actually watch as for the first time, there's a little scorch mark across the hull. And that actually does a little bit of hull damage.
You can see Bubs like moving in the ship. It's like a 7-year-old in like one of those arcade machines.
Yeah.
He's just juking around, and you think the machine's gonna come right off his hinges because he's just so in. He's like pushing his weight.
Slamming it across. Yeah, no problem. You're absolutely doing that.
You can hear him yelling too.
You can almost always hear Bubs yelling for one reason or another. But yeah, for
a
this
loud crew.
particular reason, that is
That was the reaction.
The reaction to
So
them
now this
moving.
gunneries.
So now it's
Well, no, that's just their helm phase. So
It's our
Echo, what do
helm
you want to
phase
do for
now.
helm phase?
Echo's gonna do their favorite maneuver, gonna do a flyby straight through, firing forward weapons as they go.
4, 5,
Fantastic.
6.
Correct.
So hitting this one on the way by.
Take a picture of the butt
And that's a
asteroid.
27.
27. A 27 does hit, absolutely. And I
Oh
can
no,
actually-
that's not a.
That's the piloting
This is a
skill.
piloting check to make sure I succeed.
Yeah, that does succeed.
Gunnery phase is next.
Yes, so that definitely succeeds. One thing I did forget, and thank you for reminding me, Ari.
Oh, this guy's chasing.
It's a miss.
It's gonna get caught in the gravity of that big ass.
Of the big ass.
The big ass.
Echo, your scanners begin to like go off, and you are certainly in a targeting lock situation at this point. That is helm phase for Echo, helm phase for Shade.
Helm phase for me. I'm gonna use my computer check with my exocortex to use target systems
Okay,
against this fucker.
sure.
So computer
Bubs,
check.
as you slam the chair back and forth, all of a sudden it's like the screen just zooms in and sharpens on this one ship.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Lots of 20s
So
today.
you are gonna get if you get critical, it's a 19 or 20 for a critical on the next.
And Bubs, as this
gunnery
like
attack.
sharpens up and it zooms in, and you can see everything else fades away. The stars are like filtered out; it's just black, and the ship highlighted. It zooms in so far that you can see, with Shade's help, the actual canopy, and you see that flight helmet, and then you see that person like look over, and they just flip you off, and that makes you mad. You're gonna crit on a 19 or a 20, but no problem.
And then my actual piloting action is going to be to, I think it's flip and burn,
Okay, yeah,
which will, I think, flip and then burn.
yep,
Well, you can do the attack as we're flipping.
yeah.
Yeah. Because they happen simultaneously,
Okay,
but
okay.
we have to go in the order. So piloting, that's going to be, 8 plus 30.
Yeah, absolutely. A 30 is enough. You put all the systems to work. You actually like cut some energy of the elements that would like create artificial gravity for Bubs, and so for Bubs in just a second you lift up, and that causes the whole ship to just go extra like bucket down and then pull itself forward. If there was any kind of air resistance, this would like burn elements of the ship up. But in space, no problem. You go end over end and then begin to cut forward, and as you do, for what it's worth, you can see in your viewpoint this large anti-ship mine like chasing Echo's ship.
But instead of being able to attack this ship, would I be able to attack the?
You certainly can, yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so give it a second. Give it a second. We'll A, think about that, and B, we'll do it on the gunnery phase.
Yeah, don't attack the mine.
up.
Anything else on the helm phase for
mine.
Shade and crew?
That's how big it is.
For Shade and
For the
crew.
gunnery phase.
No. Helm phase. Anything
helm
else?
phase.
Shade and
Oh,
crew.
no.
Okay, so going to the gunnery phase, we're starting off with these starships, and so.
Oh, I switched speeds.
No, not yet.
No,
After
this is the last,
Just kidding.
the last phase here. So the one who is super, super far away is going to take a couple of laser cannon shots at Echo.
Do they get a range penalty?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Can it hit? Because it's.
They're getting a range.
You're getting a
They have
range,
aft
and
weapons.
it's so far off. I mean, you don't even see the laser beam. For a moment, you see like the spark, but
We
nothing.
need half.
That's like a 15.
Our aft
And so, way off. But the other one who is behind you
You get some afterless chaps.
is going to take an attack with this particle beam. Echo, that's again going to be like a 16. They got nothing. The one who is behind you, Shade, as you are firing off against it when you're doing that like burn and turn, if you choose to do that instead of the mine, up to you. Decide when we come there. But this does take a shot against you, and you see this beam cut across with a 29.
Let me see. AC is 10 plus. Nope, that is a miss.
Very nice. And so this, like, even as the beam streaks across, it just gets eaten up by the shields. Doesn't even carve them down. That is their gunnery phase. That brings us to Echo. Go ahead with a flyby.
Oh, our speed's a little faster too because of my piloting. If you... Doesn't matter. But
Oh, 18.
An 18?
Extra hits.
Wait, 12. Yes, 18.
Yeah, that hits.
Sweet. Ooh, minimum damage. Well, almost minimum damage of 4.
A 4.
But you know.
And which one is this against? The one that you just went over?
Yeah.
Okay. And so with the 4 sparking into the side of the shields, hitting into the starboard, the shields completely die down on that side.
Sweet.
That is your gunnery phase. Echo, Shade, and Company. Gunnery phase.
I wanted to ask the director if how big this explosion would be. But I would probably have to attack this ship before I would even do that, so it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and
So
make
I'm
that
just gonna
attack roll.
attack this ship. Then.
Makes sense.
That's a 5.
Plus...
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit. I'm gonna have to 3 and 1.
3 and
Damn,
1
all
for
these
total
ones
4.
on your D4.
It's tough because that's 25% of the chance, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so with that against the ship that you saw
Yeah.
all the way behind, no problem.
And Bubs yells out, "Here comes the fireworks!"
Just spreading laser fire across both sides of that ship as you go. And as you turn over, you can see now this mine beginning to like follow Echo across. Now you can see it. But that is anything else for Shade and Company? Gunnery phase. All right. Open phase.
Move seats. Because the Mystic Officer is not a seat that can't be occupied by 2 people, but unfortunately because we're using physical seats, it's gonna be. So I just sit on Spice's lamp.
No problem. You
So we're both magic
right in there.
officers?
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
technically can.
Yeah, you can
There's no
do
reason we can't be.
Okay.
Yeah, because Magic Officer is one of those weird things where you
Yeah.
don't even really need
There's
one.
only a there's only a
There's
few.
only a couple.
It's like pilot, captain, and
Gunner.
gunner.
Yeah.
Per weapon though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How
no
many
problem.
weapons do we have? We
Only
have
one right
Well,
now.
but don't we have it on
We
each
have
side?
one on each
yeah.
side,
So
so-
technically there could be 2, but
So
They're
I can
controlled
move to
by
one?
the same gunner.
Oh, so the answer is no, I can't.
You
move
could.
Also.
I thought you only had one gun, personally,
we
but
only have one. You can look over to the right. You
Yeah.
only have one gun.
anyways.
Oh yeah, we only have one,
that was my thought. yeah.
and it's
Whatever.
starboard.
I'll
Yeah.
say it's double magic officer.
There you go. So you go ahead and you lap up 2 Magic Officers. Any other changes? All right. That brings us into the engineering phase.
magic officer.
Okay.
Cool. Realizing that I was targeting the wrong thing and that our ship gets a +3, this time I'm gonna press the button to evacuate our plumbing into space to help Mystic Haze obscure Echo ship using Echo Starship DC.
Sick.
And my mysticism to hide her from the mine.
Okay. Feeling the momentum of the ship changing, you can sense the microbes in the sanitation tank as they shift and move with the momentum of the ship. And as all of the mass begins to slide forwards towards where you know the venting chamber to be, you throw it open.
27.
With the 27, what is the
The DC is 20 plus your Starships
Yeah.
here, so 22.
Just 1?
1.
Yeah,
So 21. So I hit the DC.
Very nice.
So you get a +1 to your AC and
Oh, sorry. It's 1.5 Starship tier, so
Yeah.
it's 23.
that's okay, I hit a 27.
Very nice.
It's mysticism. It's my shit. Literally my shit.
And so as the doors open up and all of this mass is swimming forwards, your alarms blare, Echo. There's a second lock for just a moment before there is just solid waste and excrement that scatter across the shuttle from behind. And like the backup camera completely obscured by brown. It's pretty foul, but you feel pretty hidden for what that's worth. Anything else from gunnery?
I spent a resolve point
No,
to do that.
it's
From help.
engineering. It's engineering phase.
Sorry, from engineer.
Yeah.
God, I'm having a problem with my words.
It's okay. And yes, as the other magic officer, Spice like high fives, gives, and does precognition.
Okay.
Let's see if can I use the 3 for the skill check bonus?
I used it. You can use it.
You have one more.
And we would have one more.
I gotta do a mysticism check. Let's see. I know my mysticism isn't as
It's
great.
+2.
Thank you.
Only because I care.
Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Okay.
DC's low, though.
Against, yeah, so DC 10 plus 1.5.
So it's 8. So the DC for this one's 18.
What did I get? I got 16, 17, 18. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. I get it.
Absolutely.
So, the pilot gets a +2 to the piloting check.
Very nice. So as you like high five Gibbs, your paw goes down past the high five, and you slam on and open up you open up the poop chute of the ship. For you, Spice, your hand like continues onwards, and as it goes forwards, it slaps down into the console, and there's a psychic ripple that goes through the entire ship, and you stretch your fairly limited psychic abilities as a Lashunta to the absolute extreme that they can go. And as you do, it's like this white hot sensation that travels from the stalks of your antennas down to the base of your eyes, almost like a migraine threatens to overtake it.
That was hot.
But that spreads out across, and Shade, for a moment,
Now kiss.
on top of the digital elements that you can see always across the planescape, the ones and the zeros and the other elements of like the digital landscape, you see for a second Spice's face, like full, no digital data. This is the biological element of your brain forcing itself into the digital space. You just like see Spice's face, and then elements of the ships going across different patterns, different things that could happen, but one of them is more clear. And that gives you this bonus that will allow you to pilot just a little bit better. Anything else?
My face.
Yeah,
We skipped my engineering phase.
we did. Sorry, we'll get back to that. 1 second. Anything else from Shade's group?
Nope.
All right. Echo, engineering phase.
Echo switches the computers to focus on the engineering systems
Okay.
and is going to spend a resolve point to overpower.
Oh,
Okay.
Extra.
Oh, nice.
Extra
Okay.
diversions.
So the DC is 18 and Echo got a 29.
Very nice.
Echo is going
destroys
to switch forward shields to 5%, which means Echo's gonna go for broke. 0 to forward, 11 to aft.
Okay.
Speed. And can I do a double for speed?
No.
Okay, well up to 3 systems, so
There
there
you
we go.
So you go ahead, you power up speed, you throw the shields away, completely burning that energy off and distributing it into other systems. You go faster, you feel the ship grow hotter as it begins to like push past what it's meant to do. But absolutely. Anything else, Echo, for engineering?
That's my engineering
All right.
phase.
That is all engineering phases. That brings us to the helm phase. Starting with these pirates. Ugh. So, this guy, 1, 2, and similar to Shade, up and over.
Oh no.
1, 2, 3.
Give me old flip and burn.
Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, Echo's really in deep shit.
Well, any of the things that require lock on for Echo Ship have disadvantage.
Yep. Not disadvantage, but yeah.
No, it does because of Mystic Haze. Science officers
so
roll
she
a
gets it
disadvantage
too.
on scan or lock on actions.
There's no disadvantage in
lock.
Starfinder.
It li-
Or does this say disadvantage?
well, okay, we got the sheet from the internet, but it
There
literally
you go.
says
Okay. So you probably roll
rolls
twice and take
disadvantage
whichever result.
on scan or lock actions.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, that's weird.
I literally
No,
did-
so what the text probably says is they roll twice and take the lower result.
Oh,
You have a +1 to AC until the next
Correct.
round.
Nice.
Yes.
So
And science officers on other ships roll twice and take the worst one for
that's
lock-on
that's what I was
actions.
saying. Yeah.
yeah.
So no problem. This mystic cloud obscures, although you can see everybody seems to be kind of closing in on Echo.
But does the mind lose its like? Is it able to still do the things it wants to do?
Almost certainly.
Fuck.
However, that is their helm. Echo, what would you like to do on your helm?
Echo's going to do full power and blast off 1.5 times speed, which is currently 8. So Echo can
Oh
move
wow.
up
Okay,
to
you're
12
Very
spaces.
nice.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think we have to have a plan B for this.
Too bad. Plan B.
Echo's gonna stream to the left side there. Hold please.
One.
Hold please. Hold please. Where's my pencil? Pointer.
Echo is fast.
One,
Even in a starship.
three,
Yeah.
Four, five,
Zippy.
6,
6,
7, 8, 9,
Damn.
10.
10,
Echo's fucking
11.
fine.
Yeah.
11.
Here's the
This way towards you.
goalposts.
11.
Let's go between
12.
these two
12.
goalposts.
You need a laser
As you
light.
fly forwards, you can see the little particulates burning up as they impact elements of your actual hull because the shield's all gone up front. You can see little like scorch marks begin to appear on your windshield, but you haul ahead. You actually overtake this fighter, and as you pass them, getting a little closer to the station than they do, suddenly your comms begin to channel, and across an open communications network, you hear, give me just 1 second here. Yeah. Man, I really wish I could do this in a different way now.
Hello, I am Echo.
You hear, go away. Attention, ship exiting the wreckage field. Identify yourselves. You've just made it through a challenging route. It would be a shame to blow you out of the sky if you were pirates.
Hello, I am Echo 72543, making a delivery at Siren C08A, seeking landing permission at Kenosa Station for supplies.
Make a bluff check.
there.
Across the
Pissed
pond,
off a god, did I?
there is a brief moment, and you can hear like some papers shuffle, and you hear them just go, I don't see anybody here, but you've got company. 1 minute. And suddenly you feel there's this bright lock, and you feel a powerful weapon system cross across your sensors. This locks onto you instantly, and suddenly just away. And you get the sense that that passes on to a different target. But no problem. Very, very nice.
So
Anything
there's-
else for your helm face?
That's Echo.
Alrighty. Shade.
Um,
For what it's worth, open channel, you all hear much cracklier from static from the field, but you do hear that transmission as well.
Who
do
goes
I
there?
recognize? Do I recognize that they've just shifted the targeting of the?
Oh, they haven't shifted the targeting of the mine.
Oh,
It's
That is
that
later
guy.
shift down.
do I recognize that they've like recognized at least Echo's ship as non-threat?
Off the top of your head, no. All you heard was you have company, and that could be you.
Okay. Then I am going to still maneuvering. I think I'd like to, because I don't think the targeting would work unless trying to like figure out the movement.
Yeah.
Targeting systems with my exocortex to continue doing the same ability.
Okay,
on this.
yeah, no problem. Locks onto that guy.
Yeah. That's gonna be a. It's against. So yeah, that's gonna be like a 20-something. So it passes the DC.
Yeah, absolutely. Continues to lock on.
Continues to lock on, and then piloting. I'm going to. I guess it's another flippin' burn to like reposition us kind of upside down on this side.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a piloting check.
I think you get +2 because of my thing.
You do. And this is really now your ship, like burning and cutting engines. It's flipping like end over end now repeatedly because you've done this now
It's like
2
a
consecutive times.
38 or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely, no problem.
don't know.
And Bubbles, you're getting a little dizzy,
Don't
but
make
still, Shade is doing this with enough precision that even though like the ship in your viewpoint is going end over end, it's like this instead of being like all over the place, and so still relatively tight.
Bugs is like biting his lip like really hard, and like a little bit of blood is coming down.
And you've still got targeting locked on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. So that is your helm phase. Anything else for Helm Shade's team? All right, that brings us into the gunnery phase. So with the gunnery phase, a couple things are going to happen. First, the targeting computer from Kenosa Station, and worth noting, Echo, from this range, you recognize it is not the station that is targeting you. To the left of the station, or just off, I guess, to the port side of the station, there is a blue lit little, it's just like a big billboard robot, basically.
Oh god, that's so
And you
cool.
can see it reads Harbinger Robotics, Autonomous Hazardous Environment Drones. There's an advertisement with some like drones going across it. but also the targeting coming from here.
Head.
And this is a whole different kind of targeting advertisement, as from the head, a huge anti-starship missile launching pod emerges with several missiles lined up on either side. And as this has maintained a lock on the starship, you watch as a huge torpedo, which seems to have markings of something a little bit stronger than the ones that you've seen, just departs.
Not a light cannon
Excuse
shot.
me?
Oh, you know what? We got this beaver right here.
The beaver missiles.
There's actually an animated painted beaver.
Hang on a second, we're deploying the beaver.
Ooh, it gets and it streaks right under you, Echo. For a second, you feel as if this torpedo is going to hit you, and then it just goes straight underneath. The warning signs going off and alarms like blaring. You're able to just bump over top it, and you can hear across the comms, sorry about that. And then underneath you, but almost closing immediately into this individual. That is the ship. That brings us to the pirates. This pirate, before that even happens, is taking shots against you, Echo.
This didn't move in the helm if it was supposed to.
It was, and so that does make a big difference. So we'll get to there in just a second. Go ahead and move it 3. It's going to be right on the edge of that stone, and that's where it's going to detonate as it gets within proximity of that pirate.
But then we put the shields in the butt.
Yeah, you guys, everything came together really well in that
covered
little area,
our
but we're going to get there in a second. So the pirate, the first one taking a shot against you, Echo, that is only going to be a 17. The one that is going to be taking a shot with its aft laser cannon against you, Shade, is the one that is about to get into this mine explosion. Cool. That is only going to be a 17. The final one, using its particle beam against you as you burn and turn straight into its view, that is going to be even lower. And so all of them, the 2 ace pilots just ducking around, absolutely able to maneuver around all of these shots. Shade, you turn and burn and throw all of the shields back as you see the mine like whoof into view, and all of the lights at the same time ignite. It explodes, and it is a very localized effect, but enough to capture that starship. Actually, I should probably
Better safe than disintegrated.
That should be what our ship is called.
better safe than disintegrated.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I do like that too. It's better than
BSTD.
Spuggish.
The Makugaku.
Makugaku.
So
I kind of
you
like
watch
BSTD.
as this missile streaks across and then explodes, dealing a total of 30 points of damage to the
Holy
ship.
shit.
It rips the shield away, and you watch as actually that is going to immediately get into some glitching damage here. Echo, you're the closest. Can you roll a D100?
Not a very tasty candy.
33.
33.
It does 33 points of localized damage to this ship as well.
So that ship, yeah, you can see like elements are blasted off of it, and you see like sensor arrays and elements of like a data dish just fly off. You would imagine the sensor is pretty badly damaged if they're working at all. This ship probably flying blind. One of the engines like sparking. It's in rough shape. That almost single-handedly disabled that ship. That is the pirates and the starship. Echo.
And the mine's no longer a concern.
No, you can pull the mine off the ship, off the map. Yeah.
Nice, I did that.
And the
It's
ship.
engineering phase.
This is
the end
this is the
of
end of
their
the gunnery
phase.
phase. So this is to your gunnery phase.
I don't have a gunnery phase.
No worries.
That was the helm. Yeah, this guy moved,
We had to
after,
recapture that because
so-
that didn't happen.
and
when it
now
showed
it's the gunnery phase.
I don't have a gunnery phase.
No worries. So that brings us to Shade and Company.
You want to shoot at
Yeah,
this thing?
Bubs is gonna be like,
You have the lock-on bonus
Yep.
still.
Come on, just try, bubbies. It's been a slow day for me.
19?
Oh!
20.
Look at
Wow,
that. Very nice.
It's 20 this
Yeah, roll damage on
game.
that.
We're rolling well for once.
That's
And
a 1.
damage.
Of course it is.
No worries.
I'm sorry for
And a
celebrating.
4.
4, all
So
right.
But don't you
5.
get, if you roll a 20, don't they
Yeah,
have
you
a
do
no
that.
critical effect.
Oh, is there?
No,
Not in the gunnery phase.
No, you just get a critical
Whole bunch
hit.
of
No,
brains
it is a
that
critical
like-
hit.
Oh, it is
And
a critical
actually,
hit.
because of how much damage that deals, give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm saying it's been a slow
And you're
day.
flipping over, and that's hitting right on the port side, so that's going to go through shields. How much was that total?
1 plus 4.
Roll a D100. Ooh.
Glitching.
That's a 0 plus
That's
8.
no, that's
so an 8.
no, that's an
It's an 8. It's an 8.
Or no, it's 80. Oh.
No, I rolled.
This is the problem with.
Oh, there's no
rolling
0.
Yeah, you
it's
can't.
it's
one of the
10
digits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
and 8, so it's
So
an
it's 80?
18.
You got a double 0. and
18.
You got an 80.
8's an 18.
An 18. Cool. No problem. So with that 18, you can see very similar to what Echo did. This seems to blast the sensors almost completely off the ship, scraping them away as the fireball clears. The shields in the back still flickering, still holding, but the front part of the ship badly damaged. Very, very
I'm
nice.
just gonna say, my day got a little bit quicker.
Think about that.
Anything
Like,
else
what?
for gunnery for Shade's team?
No.
Nope.
All right, that brings us to open phase.
Yep.
Switching seats.
Gibbs,
Boop, 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 boop.
you hop off of Spice's lap.
And I moved to a different seat.
Which seat?
I don't know.
Okay, Spice. Are you changing?
No, she
Okay.
just like stays. And she's like.
You try to pull yourself off, and it's just so
She
sticky.
just like lays back down.
No problem. So Gibbs, let me know where you're switching.
I'm gonna sit to Captain
Okay.
Sits.
You jump off of Spice's lap and rush over to the seat. That brings us into engineering. So, the I guess they don't have an engineering for the station. However, the pirates. He's gonna attempt to fix his stuff, which is not gonna work. The one that. Bubbles, you see that huge explosion wash away, but already like lights are beginning to turn back on. They seem to be patching their ship in this moment. Probably not going to be able to attack you, but the final ship, where is it?
Right here, next to the missile.
Yeah, it's going to try. Oh, with the missile,
The
right?
beaver missile.
Yeah. Okay. It is. Yeah, it's going to do nothing. Cool. That is their engineering phase. Echo engineering phase. All right, Shade engineering phase.
Captain, I'm gonna encourage Echo, because I can do it for a second time. Because
Yeah.
I rolled that 20, and I'm just gonna be like. Well, actually, I'm intimidating you. It changes the flavor a little, but it's the
Echo.
I got a frog in my throat.
You can only do demand once per.
I
Natural 20
critted
gives you a second
on
round.
Echo, so I
Yeah.
can do it for a second time, and I think this will be the last time I'm able to do it because
Yep.
I assume we're gonna disconnect. But I'm gonna be like, "You got this," but really intimidatingly.
Yeah, no problem. It's you got this,
kill
and
you
really,
if you
it's
don't
more like
do
the
this.
intimidation is that Gibbs is back on the microphone, and you're trying to get Gibbs off.
There's like extra static because echoes pass through the debris field.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, not quite
Oh wait,
intimidating
but I get a
enough.
+3. And your starship tier is lower. So what is it?
What's the DC?
It's the DC is 15 plus your starship tier.
18.
So my I got 16 plus 3 is 19.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
You're not intimidated, Echo, but you're like, fine, and you just like rush a little bit more.
You
No
get a
problem.
Planning on dying.
Yeah, you get a +4 to whatever you want now.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Die, I'll kill you.
Anything else for engineering?
Yes.
Combat boring.
Huh?
Yes. Spice. So that helmet that we talked about at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
That's
Disactivated.
retracted.
it's retracted now.
Because we
That's
no
for the
longer
operative
operative
mode.
Not different. Okay.
Mechanically, that was so that you would be using some of the
Operative.
envoy abilities.
Envoy
Oh.
abilities, yeah.
Gotcha. Not gonna use that. I'm gonna do a scry again
Nice.
against one of these. These pirates.
Beavers.
23 against DC 5 plus 1.5 enemy starship tier.
So less
plus
than
10.
18.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got it. So I rolled
problem.
an 18.
And so you're giving that bonus to Shade, correct?
No, what I'm
It
doing
tells
is
us
I.
one thing about this.
Oh, right. Yeah. What do you want?
I want to learn this time just basic info about this ship because the last time it was other.
Yeah.
And now I just want to know. Actually, load. I changed my
Yes,
mind.
good girl.
Load.
Nice.
Okay.
Love that.
You said load.
Load.
Yeah, what do they
I don't
got
know
on
what
that
load
ship?
really
It's
means.
what they
but-
have
Yeah,
on
it's
the
cargo.
ship.
Okay.
In terms of cargo, this is a starfighter, and so in terms of cargo, not a whole lot. There's a person aboard. You do get the sense that there is short-range systems that are loaded not in terms of use, but like a backup set. Aside from that, not a whole lot of cargo.
Check.
Starship.
That's okay.
No problem. That is engineering phase. That brings us to Helm. So with Helm, we're going to start with our piratey guys.
What about this beaver?
That beaver is gunnery phase.
Oh, dang.
And it's going to be extra good because this guy's just drifting with momentum. That's no problem.
Through, which is attack of opportunity for the beaver.
The beavers.
It just chops.
It is attack of opportunity from Echo.
Yeah, it is attack of opportunity.
Ooh,
for
it's
Echo.
true.
Good point. Unless they flew by, but they just went.
Okay.
Is that an attack of opportunity?
It
for
will
us
be
too?
if you want to.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Does Starship Combat have those?
Yeah.
It does.
I was surprised too.
It's when your enemy just gets
It's
like,
like
so
they're
close. It's
flying
like,
right
well,
by,
duh.
Yeah.
Am I missing a guy right now?
He blew up from the mine.
Yeah, he blew.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
from the mine. No
I
problem.
got him right here.
And I got the mine because it was tasty.
Excellent. All right, so that is their helm phase. You watch as they seem to be kind of moving around. You still pursuing Echo, perhaps, although one of them not doing great. So that is their helm phase. Echo.
Helm phase. Echo's
get
going to
attack
do a flip and burn.
Oh yeah, but
yeah.
that's on gunnery phase, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
The
I
attack of
always did it
opportunity
before.
is.
Oh, yeah, go for it,
during
go for it,
the
go for it.
thing.
Do I get one
It's a
from
9.
the blue guy?
No, you
Okay.
do not.
it always hits. It's a 9. It hits. That's a 2. And a 1.
3 points of damage every little bit counts.
And that's against
on
the
this-
guy who's going
this
by.
The one who
3?
was patched
Yeah,
is-
I mean, he's looking pretty rough now. And as you fire again with the lasers, there is no shielding across the front. This is just tracing straight across their hull. And so as that like sparks away, you can see there are secondary explosions off the back. This ship, certainly in rough shape to the point where it's getting to the verge of being crippled. You can still see the individual like furiously working away on the inside, but this ship is starting to look like it's in pretty bad shape.
Bob's just gonna go. Come on, get some, get some.
Yeah, that was a rough attack of opportunity. That is engineering, helm for Echo.
Helm for Echo is flip and burn.
Yep. Go ahead
Echo's
and
going to
roll.
move the 3 spaces towards Kenosis Station. I mean, I don't even really know why I'm rolling, just to see if I fail, I guess. But
Basically, yeah. No problem. So you turn and burn as this explosion goes off in the distance, and you see another torpedo begin to like edge towards this one looking very, very different. You completely turn the vehicle around, hurtling now towards Kenosis Station, and you can see these several like it's several modules that are kind of mounted around a central arm, and then there's a single one in the middle that turns. And you can see there is one in particular that your screen highlights, and across the comms you can hear, "You're cleared for landing," and just this kind of like sigh, and a door begins to open up on one of those spinning pods.
Thank you, Kenosis Station. Echo 72543 on approach.
You just hear a little beep as the comm goes off. That is your helm phase? All right, Shade and Company helm phase.
Going to do my computer's check to maintain targeting systems on.
Actually, Echo's going to do a quick scan. Have the computer scan the ship that was just the blue ship.
Yeah.
Looking for any like point of origin,
Okay.
which is I guess basic info.
Sure.
Yeah. That's an 18 on the die, and the DC is 5 plus 1.5.
So you want to know the point of origin
Like-
from this?
Where are these peeps from?
The which from?
The peep.
Ah, okay.
Do you
So
mean
from
where
these in
they
particular?
came from, or where it's like their culture?
Like, where were they last at? Like,
So like
what?
scan across the ship and trying to intercept whatever elements you can from like the exterior architecture of the kind of like computer systems, just any trace of what might where they might have been
Like any
last.
landing data or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. These are ships that are certainly not drift capable, and so they must come from somewhere.
Right.
That is a really, really good point. And so there's nothing that is immediately traceable because there is no drift coordinates. What I would say is, what was the roll?
It was 18 on the die plus my computer's check, which is the wrong window, but I have good computer skills. 15, that's 33.
The last known departure point is a place called Siren 21C2.
That's right next door to 308C.
Is it?
Is one more time the name?
21C2. 21C2.
Oh, well, hello there, note that I've already made before.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
look
other
at
asteroid.
So, you recognize that these individuals come from a different asteroid within the system. Anything else for your helm phase, Echo?
Now that's it.
Alrighty. So, to the gunnery phase.
Our helm phase.
Sorry. Shade and Co. helm phase.
Computers check to keep targeting systems on this, and then I'm going to maneuver
Go
the
for
ship.
it.
Yes.
It's like a 30-something for
Yep,
targeting.
no problem. Stays
and-
locked. Especially as this ship is like sparking and kind of almost drifting.
And the maneuver is also like a 36.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
You swing the ship around.
staying upside down and just doing regular movement to get behind this guy
Yeah, sure.
so that Bubs can strike the finishing blow. And gunnery phase now. I
Yeah, go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
encourage Bubs.
Okay.
Ooh,
You get encouraged. You get a +2 to your check.
nice.
So the pirates have no attacks that they can make at this point with their systems down. That
I
brings us
missed
to Echo for the gunnery phase. Nothing for Echo. Bubs, go for it.
Come on, little sister, it's time for you to run off into the sunset.
That's a 14.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
2. 1.
3 points of damage.
These are like the babiest pews ever.
Bubs is.
Why is blood trigger? I
He's
see.
biting.
He's been biting his like
lip.
inside of his cheek and his
I like
lip as
see
he's been
him
like
take
trying
damage
to
and
hang
no one
on.
else, and I'm like, the fuck.
What's going on? But as you do that, you bite down a little bit of blood. You taste the hot iron in your mouth. This laser fire streaks across. No, it doesn't explode the ship. You watch as one of those laser beams pierces the cockpit. And as it like glears away, you can see elements of this glass like burn straight through, like molten glass still hanging inside. And you see no pilot within, no seat. That laser just passing straight through the crowd.
They ejaculate.
No, they
Excuse me, evacuate.
eviscerated.
They are nowhere to be seen.
They
Ejected?
disintegrate. No, they got fucking
Vaporized.
They ran off into the sunset.
That's I'm
They got
They're in a
vaporized
farm
by
upstate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are
That
gone. You can pull
hurts.
them off the field, no problem.
Probably not that much.
This
Very,
is
very
so nice.
fast. They were just done.
Right, and then it gets frozen.
That is the gunnery phase. Anything else from Shade's group for the gunnery phase? All right. Now, that would normally bring us to the top of the round. However, all of the pirate ships are disabled.
Gunnery Beaver.
Beaver didn't blow this one up.
That's a good point.
But
So
please,
actually,
walk
this
through it.
beaver, well, at the end of this round, this beaver drifts. And the beaver, being mindful, is a torpedo. And as the torpedo streaks forwards and impacts with this,
Is it impacting with this ship?
yes, it is.
The beaver lands on the top of the ship
Two.
and just starts gnawing at it.
Chewing
opening
lots
up
of wires.
A hole in
Electrical
the
spaghetti.
top that releases the vacuum, and they're done.
You see a huge explosion as this beaver torpedo also deals 30 points of damage in a rippling fireball in space that as it clears, you can just see the twisted hulk remains of this starship as it continues to drift, spinning with the momentum forever unless it is stopped.
Bubs is gonna see the explosion. And go, oh my god, yeah!
And so all of these radio signals just blip out, and all of you are out of initiative because you have defeated these pirates.
Wow, we accomplished combat.
So really quick.
Starship.
You know what?
Really quick,
Starship combat.
it's 8:55. I want to be able to take a quick break. We only have a couple minutes left after the break, but we're going to step away real fast. It's 8:55. We'll be back at 9:05 to finish out the session. We'll see you then.
I have to be so bad.
Biscotti
Howdy,
on
folks,
your
and welcome
patati.
back to Mosaic Team 5. If you stuck with us through the break, if not, welcome to our Starfinder campaign. We'll jump right back into things. Oh, let me have a little bit less intense music because you guys are all...
At this point, seeing as the combat's done, Bubs is gonna run from the gunnery and join everyone in the cockpit. Being, oh yeah, guys, that was amazing.
I saw this job,
Yeah.
man! You did a really great job!
Echo. You begin to approach, and as these ship spins around and around, you are able to see, you approach the, give me 1 second here, Canosa Station. You reach the point that is opened up to kind of beckon into a hangar bay, and above it you can see in kind of like a stenciled on white spray paint M6 hangar bay. As you pass through, if you wish to, this is a space that would allow for roughly 4 shuttles, roughly the size of your ship, to fit. There are 2 extending docking stations that would allow for a larger craft to connect, but not actually dock inside of the station itself. But there is nothing else in here. Your ship is the only one if you choose to land.
Yeah. Echo's going to just proceed as like a, casually.
Sure. So you land casually as one does in this kind of empty place. It's clean. All the lights are on. This is certainly an active station, but there is nobody here. No ships, no maintenance crew. And as you think that, the door open just a little bit beyond your viewpoint, and you see crawling out on several legs a skittermander. This individual covered in this kind of lavender blue fur, which as it hits the light, there are like these maroon patches that form vaguely star-shaped kind of colorations around them. They have on them these coveralls that just read Canosa Station on them. And you see like a little ID badge as well. And it reads Kipsy Wimnana. And they kind of like gesture over. You see they tap this, and there's a little blip that bleeps on your communicator.
Hello, I am Echo 72543 on my way to Siren CO8A, making a delivery. I am in need of supplies, such as rations, and they look over at the shuttle. Repairs.
You can see they kind of nod a little bit, and then they just say,
well, we need to get you orientation, so come on over and just leave any weapons aboard.
and you can see they take out what looks like close to like a shotgun kind of weapon. You see this kind of glow around the edge, which tells you whatever projectiles are launched out are magnetized in such a way that they shouldn't really pierce like starship armor. This is designed for anti-personnel aboard a starship. But it kind of levels towards you, and you see the eyes squint. They're not terribly trusting. Are you disembarking?
Yes. They stashed their locust blade, the hell pistol, which were the only visible weapons they had on their person.
Okay.
The Mirage dagger is in the folding grip.
No problem.
Nice.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check as you conceal this. And this is more about kind of not just having the folding grip and all of that, but really the way in which you're going to hold yourself to try to keep this hidden. Not show off that you are ready to kind of produce this weapon.
$28.
Okay. You lower the gangplank and you walk down, exiting through the rear of the ship and walking around. You see this skittermander now has like crossed over and is maybe 15 feet away from you. And he says,
Nobody's come out for a really long time. We have nobody on our logs, but we can help, I guess. What are you here for?
I am making a delivery to Siren C08A and noticed this station on my map.
Well, I'm sorry, but you must be glitching. Jacinto moved out almost 6 years ago. Or the last one anyways. I don't think anybody's expecting a delivery, and you came a long way.
Echo kind of like gestures back towards the hangar of their craft and says, I was told that I had deliveries and pickups to make.
There are no deliveries or pickups. We're serving out the end of our 10-year contract, and then hopefully we can all retire. There's only a few of us left. But We'll help with whatever we can.
It would be appreciated. Tell me, are there any other mining operations? Perhaps I have the incorrect destination.
Well, you might want to talk to Elovan. They're a space geologist. It's the only person left from the original mining team. I would caution you not to bring up lasers around them. They get a little bit wordy about their favorite subject.
Understood.
But not a whole lot of mining operations. There was another asteroid that had Jacinto property on it. But there are a whole bunch of Vesk there now, and we try to stay on the other side from them.
Echo makes a show of like checking their communicator. Are you referring to Siren? 21C2.
Yeah. They call themselves the Lost Fleet. It's a whole big group of them, and they've been getting more and more.
Hold for player to...
Yeah, no worries. He also says,
Most of them can't make it past the J lane, and so we're fairly safe here. Please don't go over in that direction. We're trying not to cause too much attention.
Understood. I also am searching for a ship that passed by here recently. I was told to make a flyby delivery to them of Eats Meats Pucks.
Huh, okay.
A ship with the designation everything, all that glows. Oh no, sorry, all that glitters. Echo would know this.
so All That Glitters is the ship that you saw wrecked on your way in. So...
Kara knows this.
Okay, no worries.
We haven't heard of anybody from that.
Unfortunate.
There were some treasure hunters maybe 2 weeks ago, and they came. But they were in a ship called Gravedigger.
2 weeks ago?
I'm pretty
April
sure.
5th.
It was 2 weeks. It chronologically syncs up with when Chip would have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it would have been 11 days ago.
Echo makes another show of checking their communicator. It says, interesting. All that glitters does indeed sound similar to a treasure hunting vessel. What direction did the Gravedigger travel in?
Well, they were going over to 308A,
Ah,
but they never came back, which is pretty common.
that was indeed my destination for my delivery. Perhaps I have the incorrect recipient, but the correct destination.
Well, you can go if you want, but you'll need an ID card to get anywhere. Hang on.
And he goes and like digs through his pockets. Hang on one second.
Ooh, is it a physical thing?
It's got a little bit of gunk on it, but you just wipe that off. It's not blood.
I love this voice of this Skittermander.
It is so good.
I love him.
So he flips through and he kind of holds them up one after the other and just goes,
Well, you said you like mining, so
and hands this over to you. And you could see on it, there is the picture, kind of flickering, a little hologram of an elderly human who seems to be like covered in mining soot. They seem to be a miner of some kind. And the Skittermander turns and just says,
now that will unlock a lot of different doors that he would have access to, and it can also unlock certain item storage areas that were made for the miners. But some of that machinery is really old, and it can eat the card. And if you lose the card, we only have 2 or 3 more. We could make more if we had the machinery for it, but that got lost.
I appreciate this gesture and all of your assistance. Do you have anything that I could use to repair my... it's not a windshield on a ship.
the shuttle, I guess it would be like the viewport.
Yes, that.
Well, I mean, the machinery that we needed was really attached to the smart inventory management system. And that got lost in an asteroid strike a long time ago. With that, we could track any parts that we were missing from the original station as long as they were printed from our printers. But that was lost a little while ago. If you're going to 308A, it might be in that vicinity, and so you could look.
Thank you. If you would like, while I am in Siren 308A, I could potentially retrieve this smart inventory management system for a small fee from the Canosa Corporation.
I mean, yeah, we would pay to have that retrieved. We tried to get it, but we lost, I think, 3 or 4 parties trying to go. So, we would really appreciate that. And if you could also find a Jacinto power core while you're there, specifically a J13 drive core, we might be able to get the drone walker over in Arrivals back up. And with that, we could do a whole bunch of repairs. No problem.
I will see what I can do.
I would just be really careful. The person who went last time, he seemed kind of serious. He was, he had a whole bunch of machinery with him. And so even if they aren't with us anymore, they probably left some defenses.
Echo looks a little confused. They aren't with you. They have turned against you.
No, I mean more like if they died.
Ah, that would be unfortunate.
Generally speaking, if people don't come back right away, they're dead. So we assume that they're all dead.
Fair assumption.
That makes sense. The debris field was quite fun to pilot through, but I admit I do enjoy challenges.
If you want, I think we actually have pictures of all of them over in the hydroponics garden. We try to put holographic pictures of everybody who dies, and so there's a couple hundred in there. About 120. You can sort through them if you want.
Graveyard.
Holographic.
Echo, like,
graveyard.
consults the communicator again.
Sure.
And kind of, like, thinks about the time frame that they're on.
Sure.
I do have a small amount of time. It may be respectful to do so.
Yeah, sure.
And he like turns and gestures for you to follow him. You can see as he walks over to the door, he takes his little badge and like touches it, and the door shoots open, very similar to yours, although it has his picture and name on it. Walking over, you enter into like a ring, and you've seen this. This is the arm that goes all the way around Canosa Station. Walking over to the hydroponics garden, that is actually M5, right next to where you are. And entering into a vertically integrated space. This is all of the sub-levels and top levels have been combined to create a huge vertically sort of oriented hydroponics garden. There are pumps and tubing and complex irrigation systems that have been set up. There is a single plot, though, that has several orange trees, fully mature orange trees that actually have fruit growing from them. And all around there, virtually pinned but projected onto the tree itself like photographs, there are holographs. Various individuals, some from like security camera angles, some that are like ID photos from photos very similar to your own. You actually see Wilkes, the person that you are in possession of their ID, kind of floating right there. There are several dozen of these floating individual frames. You pick out people like security chief Alessandra Briskley. You see doctors, you see miners, you see all different kinds of people.
Anyone Echo recognizes?
Make a perception check.
120 people.
Oh, Canosa's not spelled with a K?
It's with a C. Canosa.
Probably not. Not with a 19.
With a 19, you don't recognize anybody. You do see humans. You see Lashunta. You see Yasoki primarily, for what it's worth, but nobody that you recognize. There are no Echo units. There are no Rocco units. Nobody even kind of the model that you are familiar with.
All right, Echo just kind of like nods respectfully. I do not wish to take any of your... Echo kind of like looks around. Few remaining supplies. I might talk to your resident geologist to establish good landing spots.
Yeah, your funeral. Come on.
And he turns around and like kind of begins to walk back towards the main arm. Now, while all this is happening, what are the rest of you doing? You see Echo just like disappear.
We all like move back to the ship. I high five Gibbs. Oh, that was so great, guys. I mean, we haven't done much ship combat, but I felt so alive.
Hey, do you still need to be checked out? We got interrupted before.
Bub is like gonna like feel his like.
I see the blood and like.
Oh, yeah,
He's like gonna take out a wipe and clean it.
Yeah. We can talk.
Cool. I'm going to medbay.
As we walk into the med bay,
Yeah.
and he's like touching his lip.
This is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Through the past couple of days, and well, it's not even really a bad thing, you know, but like, I've been starting to feel less pain. Like when I was doing that combat on the gunnery, I couldn't even feel that I was biting my lip. I mean, it's kind of a good thing, you know? I mean, you know, I'll just be stronger.
Pain, like all unpleasant emotions, tells you something about your environment that needs to change. It's an important indicator when you've gone too far. It's important to listen to your body in some ways. So, I know some of your other senses have been dulled. Do you mind if I take a look?
Yeah, sure.
And I'll do a full-on medical check.
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Hop up on the table and take the pants
As
off.
you,
But like in the Gibbs, please. Gibbs.
oh no, I know.
Yeah, okay.
No, absolutely. It's bend over, but not for any medical purposes.
Can you take my weight and
Bend over and cough.
size too?
Yeah.
I've been feeling stronger too.
Sure, whatever you want. Like, I mean, whatever. Like more data points on my thing.
My clothes haven't even like been
While
fitting me.
while you are playing doctor with Bubs, Spice, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Just hanging out in the cockpit?
Yep.
Okay, no worries.
Pouting.
What was your roll?
30.
30, no problem.
Is there something I should be doing?
No, I was just wondering where everybody is like
Bub's
distributed
playing
at this
doctor in
point.
another room.
Oh my god.
With Gibbs, though.
So
Spice is not.
Gibbs, no.
Gibbs, with that medicine check, as you look at Bubs, relatively speaking to like the physical okayness, he's not damaged in any way. You just chomp down on his cheek in the way that sometimes you've done, actually pretty frequently when you get
Yeah.
really excited to eat. So nothing crazy.
I just noticed that like when you bit my arm during the training, I mean I felt a little bit of it, but I don't know. Instead of like a sharp feeling, it just felt, I don't know, more like a pinprick.
Is there any like neurological reason why that would be, or is this seem to be like, does this seem to mystify me as much as his like lack of smell?
Almost more complicated because like you can think of a million neurological reasons.
Okay.
If you feel like pinpricks like that could be nerve damage. That could be, that could be the onset of diabetes. There's like a million things that you could think of.
Diabetes.
So there's a bunch of tests I could run, but those will take time, and I can only synthesize so much in this med bay. But why don't I take some samples? And I understand that you're expressing a physical sensation, but I want to talk to you about something else. And I know we haven't had a chat in a while, but... and Gibbs starts thinking of the conversation she last had with Crumb, where she expressed a lot of like concern and worry and opinions, and that kind of going poorly. And so she starts to sort of tread carefully with her words. And kind of doing this medicine check sort of shifts into like bedside manner chatter and is like, you know, I don't really have a favorite food, but...
I can't even taste food.
Right. So, you must appreciate tofu.
Well, I've had it before. It's got like a nice little texture when you bite into it. Like it's like when you first get into it, you can feel like the little like, you know, rip of it. You know, and
Right.
that's what I really appreciate is the initial rip of it.
High firmness.
So tofu's all texture, and what's nice about it is it's... Well, you can feed it to people who are suffering from malnutrition without much side effects as you introduce calories back to their system. But tofu absorbs anything it's marinated around, flavor-wise. And while it's bland and boring on its own, you have to be careful what you put next to it. And Bubs, you are the tofu of this group, and I worry about spending too much time with you because I'm afraid what you would absorb from me. But I'm seeing even more so my fear of you spending time with Spice. It scares me. That relationship. You might want to be careful. You don't and I'm gonna touch him and cast Mind Link.
Okay.
As my words sort of fail me, as I'm tripping over them and struggling to not fuck it up, and I know that like my intentions are good, but my words are not. I will give you the 10-minute montage of Gibbs' perspective of your relationship, starting with the Twilight Tulip, where she came to the rescue and paid your dinner bill, and sort of the financial abuse of every time we've gone on a shopping session and you being at the mercy of Spice's whims. And in Gibbs's mind, Gibbs pictures you, but it's a little puppy with like a waggling tail, like the golden retriever boyfriend that you are. And definitely in the same ways, like as you see other people interact in the scene, like they have that sort of Gibbs like animalistic imagery of her being like the rat and the feral rat that she is. Like in Gibbs's mind, it's a very cartoony sort of like Gibbs is a rat and she does a little dance, and like Shade comes in and he's like, you know, a little humanistic rat with an eye patch, and then like Echo's there with just like the kind of big eyes. But in a lot of the memories that she's recalling of Spice, it is a cat, and she is a lynx preying on you. And so then the shift goes from the financial abuse to the physical abuse of Gibbs seeing your scared face just a few days prior, and then sort of the emotional abuse of not telling you what you've done wrong. And you can hear kind of Gibbs's narration a little bit as she says, and sort of wraps up the memory of, you deserve someone to tell you what you've done wrong so you can grow from it. And you see juxtaposed to the conversation that you've had with Spice about why Spice is hurt, the conversation of Gibbs's own personal heartbreak only a day prior, as she wrangles with hurting someone else and that being dealt with in a very different, but in a way that Gibbs feels confident that she will grow successfully from. And Gibbs sort of lets the memory fade as she tries to make sure that you understand where she's coming from, and also kind of catches you a little bit and steadies you as she knows that like this can be an overwhelming sensation. But Gibbs looks in your eyes, and I'm not surprised if you're numb. The pain you're feeling is something you shouldn't be dealing with. This should be safety, and this should be home. Bubs, this is your choice to make, but please consider your options.
Okay, maybe I should be threatened. Shit.
Bubs is like gonna like shake his head and like try to like touch his head, and then he touches his lip. We just felt the pain. That's like kind of numbed. What is all this?
I've been compiling your medical history. I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually submit to Mosaic because they didn't do shit for Shade, but so I guess I wanted to play a more active role. And Gibbs pulls out like Cosmopolitan, like 2020 or like 2020 or whatever.
The magazine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's like
Sponsored.
50.
where she's like filled out like is this relationship healthy? Like, and it's all of those like snippets of like when like there's women empowerment, but in like the like kind of girly like magazine sort of bullshit.
Yeah.
Where Gibbs is like filled out like do you feel safe at home? Like no, and like like, and you can see like Gibbs is like trying to do the math and like kind of walk it back as much as she can, but like so she kind of pulls out your medical file, which at this point just looks like a bunch of magazine clippings. You are a whole person developing and growing, and I would hate to see any of this stifled by your environment.
Stop. What is this? I came here to get a medical checkout.
Mm-hmm. It's not just physical. It's social and emotional and mental. That's my job here.
What? In Bubs' mind, he's like, he kind of feels embarrassed. He doesn't know in this moment right here if this is actual concern or if he's being pitied.
this isn't right. This isn't in your job description. This.
And Bubs is gonna like stand up.
It literally is.
Well, I didn't sign up for this when I joined Mosaic Team 5.
You didn't sign up for someone to care about you?
It's not like that. It's you just touched my brain and you gave me all these thoughts. I didn't say you could do that.
I gave you a perspective that you badly need before you go endure, before you continue.
Bubbles. As Gibbs starts to talk to you, and you say, I didn't give you permission to go into my mind.
What
Bubbles.
was that noise?
You see this image that Gibbs has flooded into your mind. You see this visual, all these cartoonish images. You see then Spice like looming over you, and then you feel, am I being pitied? And in that moment, it isn't Spice. It isn't all these cartoonish figures from your current. These are figures from your past, and you're not talking to Gibbs. Standing over you in this moment, looming large like a giant, is Dr. Maldross. And because it is 9:30, this is where we're going to end for the evening.
Dang.
But fantastic work, Ari. Damn,
That
was cool.
so good, so good.
Fantastic work,
yeah,
Bubs.
fantastic
Pulling
work,
out some
everybody.
non-consensual mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, wasn't expecting that.
Scene.
Great work, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this session of Mosaic Team 5. Starship combat, and then some intense roleplay. Really like all the elements, actually exploration, all the 3 pillars of role-playing here. So look at that. We're going to be back next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't wait that long, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can join us for our original D&D campaign, Courts of Everest, where we will be, hopefully, returning to the Emerald Spire.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Please stay safe. We will see you later. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.